Maybe. This is TWIS. This Week in Science, episode number 589, recorded on Wednesday, October 19th, 2016. Livelier than a scrotum frog in Lake Titicaca. Hey everyone, I am Dr. Kiki, and today on This Week in Science, we are going to fill your heads with a thinking machine, human-like generosity, and lithium. But first...
Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. We live in the modern world, the newest age humanity has ever known, which is always the case, really, whenever people are describing the present, even the dark ages in Europe. During a major setback in knowledge, most folks living through it probably had no idea there had been a more modern world left behind. And as progress pushes forward through every aspect of our lives, as we automate more processes, speeding up production, as we compute larger data sets faster, as our population grows and the need for a workforce shrinks, as we fill every open stretch of land with farms, paved roads, cut and paste houses and coffee franchises, as we push nature further from our daily lives and alter the climate upon which nature thrives, we see the results of our efforts. Planet-wide warming, depleted fishing, hunting, and farming grounds, diminished freshwater reserves, increased wildfires, intense storms and hurricane seasons, and over 100 species of plant, insect, and animal going extinct every day. What for? To what end? Why are we so set on this path, so dedicated to a goal that we cannot even envision how it ends? And what a vision. No wonder we don't ask how the world will look when we are done destroying it. The answer, of course, is that we don't care because we won't be here to see it, because we can't imagine that change taking place in our own lifetime. And our children, we obviously don't love them enough to ensure that it doesn't happen in theirs. Thankfully, there are some people left who love this planet enough to protect it. Unfortunately, they aren't running the country, but they are here with us now, listening to This Week in Science. Coming up next.
I've got the kind of mind I can't get enough. I want to learn everything. I want to fill it all up with new discoveries that happen every day of the week. There's only one place to go to find the knowledge I seek. I want to know what's happening. What's happening? What's happening this week in science? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening this week in science?
Good science to you, Kiki and Blair.
And good science to you, Justin, Blair, and everyone out there. Welcome to another episode of This Week in Science. TWIS is here yet again to fill your heads, not with magic, but with science.
Science!
Science, things that people have been discovering, things that have been published and talked about in the last week. So many great things are happening in this world. It is amazing. On this week's show, I have new stories about lithium and how it might work in our brains, an update on Planet X, and a very deep mind. We also have an interview with the director of the Maryland STEM Festival. And we're going to be talking about what to look forward to during festival week. It's going to be coming up pretty quickly. So hold on to your hats. Justin, what do you have for us today?
I've got Denisovian genes, the rediscovery of the Higgs Bison, and tool-making monkeys.
Tool-making monkeys, like apes, like us?
No. Curious George was an ape. I'm talking about monkeys.
Fascinating. All right, here we go. And Blair, what is in the animal corner today?
Oh, I brought a whole bunch of animals acting like humans.
Why would they ever want to do that? This doesn't make any sense.
Well, they're not holding debates or anything, but they're doing other cool stuff that we'll talk about.
All right, good. And on this eve of the final presidential debate, we must go on with the science because there's so many happier, better things in this world to be filling our heads with and doing with our time, like STEM festivals. Oh my goodness, you all know that we're going to be heading to Baltimore for the Maryland STEM Festival in, oh my gosh, 2 weeks, November 4th. It's coming up quickly. Very excited to be part of the opening ceremony for the Maryland STEM Festival. And here with us tonight to talk about the Maryland STEM Festival is its director and also the chair of the STEMulating Minds group in Maryland, Phil Rogofsky. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much for having me tonight, and thank you for joining us in our opening ceremonies on the 4th.
Oh, we think it's going to be so much fun. You have no
idea. It will be.
It's going to be amazing. We have a beatboxer coming.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm not going to spoil the fun by telling you what's going to happen, but let me tell you, it is going to be amazing laryngeal goodness.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, so Phil, can you tell us how, just in the first place, how did you get involved in STEM outreach activities and come to become the director of the Maryland STEM Festival?
Well, it basically started back in 2010. My son and I went to the first USA Science and Engineering Festival in DC. It happened to fall on his birthday that year, and he wanted to go. He's always been interested in science and technology. And we both had a great time. It was a wonderful event, the first of a biannual event. And he just made a comment about, gee, it's a shame a lot of my friends aren't here, but I understand, it's a ways to come to go into DC from where we live. So the idea germinated in my head that why don't we try to do something like this at his school? And so we had a STEM night at his school, and it was very popular. And a lot of people said, why don't you do a countywide event? So we did a countywide event, and that went very well. And then back in 2014, back at the U.S. Science and Engineering Festival, there was a meeting by the STEM Festival Alliance, and they were talking about the trend of what they call regional STEM festivals that aren't in one location but are held over many places in an area, in a region. And the gentleman running the meeting turned to me and said, well, how come Maryland doesn't have one? And I said, well, I don't know. And I'm thinking in my head, yeah, it would be nice, but I just don't have the bandwidth for it.
Yeah.
But as it turned out, about a month later, there was an event called STEM Trek, where there were some very important people in Maryland STEM ecosystem. And I went to them and talked to them, and they all thought it was a great idea, and we got the ball moving. And since it was kind of my idea, and I took the bull by the horns, I became the director, and we've moved forward, and we're working on our second year. We had a great year last year. We had over 330 events all across the state of Maryland. We estimate about 50,000 people attended, and this year it's just growing and growing. So
that's wonderful.
I guess yes.
Yeah, I'm just wondering though, I mean, talking about not having, worrying about how much can I do this? Do I have enough bandwidth to get this done? What is it like to organize a statewide or a regional festival?
Well, it's obviously a lot of work, but it requires the support of a lot of people, and I've gotten that support, and the support keeps growing. This year we developed a great partnership with the library systems. Last year they were the organization that hosted the most events, and this year they wanted to become even more involved, and they're hosting more events, but they've also been helping with the planning and preparing the marketing material and getting the word out. So it requires a lot of my bandwidth, but it requires the support of a lot of people to get this done. And
is this is something, are you doing this in your spare time?
Yes, I am.
I am impressed. This is amazing. That's no mean feat to do that. Can you tell us a little bit about how it's changed from last year to what you're expecting to see this year at the festival?
Well, there's a lot more diversity, a lot more events, a lot more people who are aware of it and are looking forward to it. So that's the main thing. I mean, this year we've got a lot more with STEM touching on the arts. I mean, a gentleman came up to me early this year and said, I've written a play about STEM. Could you guys produce it? I said, well, we can't, but why don't you reach out to one of the community theaters? And he did. And so there's going to be a play called Hypatha's Math. It's about an Egyptian female mathematician, and it's part of the STEM Festival this year. People just hear about it, and they want to do what they can to become part of it, and whatever. And people are coming up with great ideas, new ideas that we didn't have last year, such as a play about math. So
I'm going to say I'm going to go out on a limb here and say there probably are not very many plays about math.
No, I don't think there are, and especially about Egyptian female mathematicians.
Right.
I'm sure he wrote the first.
Did you say when and where that's going to be?
That's going to be at the Strand Theatre. They're calling them workshops, so it's not quite a fully rehearsed, long-running show, but they're putting it on a couple times towards the end of the festival, and I'm hoping I can get to see it, and it just sounds wonderful.
What are some other things that you're really excited about?
Oh, quite a bit. I like the things that have kind of funny names. Like there's an event called Slime Science. I mean, how can you go wrong with slime science? We have an event, Spaghetti Engineering, seeing what you can build with spaghetti. Who doesn't like to play with their food?
I hope it's not cooked spaghetti.
No, I'm guessing it's not, but wouldn't that be neat? They should have both. They should have cooked spaghetti and uncooked spaghetti, and just see what different things you can come up with both.
Right.
So one thing I think is going to be really cool, and this is right up Blair's alley, is the zoo is doing a special program on polar bears. They're going to have an all-day event talking to the people who take care of the polar bears and talking about researching polar bears. So that sounds like a great event. And actually, that's going to be on Saturday. So if you're not leaving too early, maybe you can catch some of that.
Look at Blair's excited face.
Guys.
For our audio listeners, I just want you to imagine Blair's excited face. She is so excited about polar bears right now.
There's all sorts of programs about math and astronomy and zoology and computers. A lot of robotics events. I mean, that's always big. Kids love robots. We have just countless robots events. So we have a robotic rodeo where they're going to try and get as many robots as they can into the space they have. If it's STEM related, we're trying to bring it in, and people are putting the events out.
That's great. Are you focused more on events for kids, or is it just whoever has events, you'd love to bring them become a part of the festival, or is there a particular focus of the Maryland STEM Festival?
We try to encourage family events as much as possible. We want the whole family to be involved in science and technology and mathematics and engineering. Now, most of the hosts have designated a certain age group. Some it's all age groups. Some have some events for 6 to 18-month-old children. So we've got a lot of events for toddlers and preschoolers. We have events for every ages. There's some adult related or specific events. There's an event on teaching adults how to solder, and there's something about the joy of winemaking. So yes, I knew that would get that reaction.
Polar bears and wine.
We're trying to get everyone. The phrase we try to use is we're trying to create a culture of STEM, like the culture of sports and foods, and try to show everybody how much STEM is involved in life, and also trying to show everyone how fun STEM is. I mean, we want the events to be fun. With names like Slime Science and Spaghetti Engineering, and where math meets menace, obviously they're fun and they're not intimidating. They're things that will hopefully attract people, and especially students of all ages, and especially the ones who are not necessarily already predisposed to STEM. And that's part of the mission of the festival, is to attract the students especially, but people in general who don't think of STEM as for them, who maybe are a bit afraid of STEM, who have some trepidation, who think, STEM is for, Sheldon Cooper and not for them.
Right.
But we're trying to show them that STEM is for you. It's part of your life. You may not think about it, but it is for you. And another thing I like to say is every part of STEM isn't for everyone, but there is a part of STEM for every person.
I think that's a very good
So you may
point.
not like robotics. I mean, some people don't like robotics, but they may like astronomy, or they may like zoology, or they may like food science or chemistry. So you just have to find what part of STEM you like.
I think that's fantastic. Are you going to be driving around Maryland during the week of the festival, checking out as many events as possible, or are you?
I certainly will. It'll be 10 fun-filled but hectic days. I was going through our booklet trying to decide, which events, and it's just so hard because like I said, we have this year 460 events. And while Maryland's not a huge state, it is a good-sized state, and there's just some corners I won't be able to get to, but I'd like to get to a whole lot of events because they're all fun, they're all exciting. Last year there were a lot of hosts who said we weren't sure how it was going to work out, but after they ran the events, they said they couldn't wait for this year's festival. So I'm looking forward to all the events, and I wish I could go to all of them, all 460.
Yeah, it's wonderful that it's growing. And I think these statewide or very large regional festivals are really neat because very often you find cultural events like this cloistered in areas where there are lots of people. So you would expect this to be happening maybe in Baltimore and nowhere else throughout the state, and expecting everybody from the far reaches of the state to have to drive hours to be able to get there. But because you're developing this festival with events everywhere, that means there's something somewhere for anyone who's interested in finding it.
Yes, our goal is to have an event within 30 minutes, 30 miles of every Maryland resident. Maryland is broken up into counties. There are 24 counties, including plus Baltimore City in Maryland. Last year we had events in 22 of the counties. This year we actually were able to manage to get hosts in every county. And we hope to grow on that. Some of the smaller counties, some of the ones a little farther out only have one or two, but it's still a start, and hopefully they'll draw well and people will love them and people see what a great event it is. Next year we'll get even more hosts.
Well, I think it's fantastic, and we for sure are excited about being there ourselves. It's going to just be so much fun to come to the second Maryland STEM Festival. And if everybody's interested, if you're there in the Maryland area, somewhere in Maryland, somewhere near Maryland, are you on a border to Maryland? Drive into Maryland. There's a STEM Festival from November 4th until what date, Phil?
November 4th through the 13th. It's 10 days, 10 days of a lot of STEM fun. So if you are in the area, again, as you mentioned, if you're neighboring in Virginia or DC or Delaware, you're still welcome and to partake in the fun.
Absolutely. And what's the website that people can go to, please?
It's very simple. It's www.marylandstemfestival.org, all spelled out, Maryland spelled out, STEM and festival. And it lists all the events, and it has other information. It lists our partners, our sponsors, talks about some of the people who are involved in putting the festival on. It's a really fun site, as you can see. Again, fun is the operative word. We want everyone to appreciate and enjoy the fun of STEM, and hopefully they'll want to get more involved.
I think it's just fantastic. And I hope that this is the second of many years for the Maryland STEM Festival, and we can't wait to meet you in person. Phil, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for inviting
Thank you very much, and looking forward to meeting you on the 4th.
Yes. Looking forward to it. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Especially since, how many of the scientists that we've interviewed who have told us that their interest in this thing that they ended up pursuing for a lifetime started on a field trip, started on either a class field trip or an outing, or going to an event like this, and getting just a little bit of an exposure to what's possible and what's out there, and then remembering that throughout their education and then pursuing it later in life. I think it's fantastic, and I'm very happy that you're doing this. I can't wait to go.
It's great. And additionally, Phil mentioned earlier, the STEM Festival Alliance is actually a growing group of individuals who are working throughout the country to bring more STEM festivals to more places. So if your local area does not yet have a STEM festival, the STEM Festival Alliance is someplace you can look for help. I think they even have a festival incubator now to help you get your festival off the ground, which is kind of cool. So, but anyway, we're excited. November 4th, we're going to kick it off, grand opening of the STEM Festival in Maryland. And I think our show starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time at the National Aquarium. If you're interested in going, I believe you just have to gain admission to the aquarium, and then you can come to our show, which is fantastic. All right, everybody. Are we ready for some science news?
Let's do it.
Let's do some science. Okay. Thinking machines, right? The AI. Are we terrified of the AI? Blair? She turned off the microphone.
Yes, I am afraid of the AI. You know this. At the very least, the Google cars. I'm terrified.
I'm terrified of the Google cars. Well, the self-driving cars need to be able to potentially think for themselves to get you a route from one place to another. I mean, they could be programmed and told exactly where to go remotely, potentially, maybe a map program telling them what to do from central command or something. But ideally, our machines, to be intelligent, should think for themselves and not have to be programmed to do everything. And in trying to get there, trying to make this a possibility, Google has a company that they purchased a while ago called DeepMind. And Google's DeepMind in London have been working on this problem by adding, basically, they've got an AI neural network program that has the ability to do basic learning. But now they've added external memory. They basically gave a learning device, a memory device, a place to store things that it learns. So it's not just running algorithms. It's running algorithms and learning and storing those memories and using those to plan. And that is something that that happened in this instance, in which they gave this computer algorithm that they're calling a DNC, which stands for a differentiable neural computer. It consists of a neural network that can read from and write to an external memory matrix. And so it's kind of analogous, they say this in their abstract, to the random access memory in a conventional computer. Like a conventional computer, it can use its memory to represent and manipulate complex data structures. But like a neural network, it can learn to do so from data. And so they did supervised learning, and this amazing program was able to take a look at the tube map of the London Underground and determine the best path from one place on the map to another, the shortest path that it should take to get from one location to another. Which doesn't seem like a terribly huge task. This is something that we do all the time, right? We go, oh, it's a map. You look at it here and you go, oh, I could go that way, I could go that way, and you just figure it out. But for a computer program that has not been programmed to do this, it figured it out on its own by looking at the map and at every option that it could take at every stop along the map. And then it remembered, and it was able to make a plan.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And then additionally, they were able to do something similar with a family tree. So there was family tree input, and then basically a question was asked about, okay, so who is Freya's great uncle? And the algorithm, the learning, this DNC, was able to use the algorithm and its external memory to determine the relationships between individuals in a family tree to be able to come up with the answer, the correct answer. That Fergus, of course, Fergus is Freya's great uncle.
Duh, everyone knows that.
But one of the most striking things from this that they did bring up in their discussion is that it's not simply that they're using the data source, and this DNC was learning and using this external memory device. It was actually able to plan.
Come again?
It was this, because it was using its external memory, it was able to make a plan of how to take action. And they know this because they used a particular test, which is called a mini shirtaloo.
You're a mini shirtaloo.
A mini shirtaloo. And it's basically, we've played these before, and I'm going to show this picture here. When you were younger, you may have enjoyed games in which there was a square with a number of smaller squares within it with numbers that you could slide around. And when you initially get that board, the numbers are out of order. And you have to, there's maybe 1 or 2 blank spaces within the system, and you have to slide the numbers around to put them in the correct order.
It's like a 2-dimensional Rubik's Cube.
Exactly. And in this task, the DNC was able to, over time, increase the number of squares that it was moving around and become more accurate. And over time, basically, it learned that, okay, this particular, say number 4 is over on the left side and number 2 is over here on the right, and I need to move these around this way. And to do this, I need to move this up and then move that over. And the way you make a plan before executing an action, the DNC was able to do this to solve this task as well.
This is not good. This is terrifying.
It's a little scary, but at the same time, it's not this, this computer is not thinking for itself yet at a complex scale, but
and this is good news too. This can be used for good, for sure. I recognize that it definitely, it could be useful to have a computer that could tell you varying outcomes from different actions, and then to be able to select the right plan or decision based on that. Execute. That could be hugely important to us.
So what are you afraid of, Blair?
I don't want to perjure myself against the future robots.
That's right.
Okay, so then don't. My advice is don't. Also, I would say that we don't want to.
Team TWIS. TWIS is for the coming world robot domination. We've said it a number of times.
Yes.
Team TWIS.
For it. We're on record. Also, though, I don't think we should anthropomorphize our future robot masters. I think the darkest things that can happen to people are things that are done by people, and I think they have people motives when they do them. And I don't think the machines will have people motives.
Absolutely
which could be a really good thing.
Right.
We should be very thankful that we haven't somehow, that we, at least unless we do, and somehow imbue them with some sort of human motive to things. I think we would find that actually intelligence without the ape brain leftovers might actually be pretty beneficial, benevolent, and peaceful.
Probably.
Maybe.
Let's find ways for us all to get along.
Stay tuned for my segment for more on that. I have some
other AI. You would get along. Maybe not with us.
Yeah, and so Alex Graves, who's the research scientist at Google DeepMind in London, who led this work, he's the first author on the Nature paper, which is available, open access to read. He says, "I'm wary of saying now we have a machine that can reason. We have something that has an improved memory, a different kind of memory that we believe is a necessary component of reasoning. It's hard to draw a line in the sand." Dun, dun, dun. And then Demis Hassabis, according to The Guardian, he's the founder of DeepMind. He plays down concerns about humans being, hunted down and killed by artificial intelligence. And he says, this smart intelligence, he says, we're decades away from any sort of technology that we need to worry about. So decades, Blair. We've got decades.
Just mere decades. Remember, I'm going to live to be over 200 years old.
That's right. Well, get your spoon now. Start digging a cave.
Oh no.
Scrape away. Scrape away at that little cave underneath your house. Just scrape
Okay.
it away. You just hide in there. It's a little Blair made spoon AI shelter.
Okay, that's where I'll be during the break if I disappear.
That's right. This spoon dug AI shelter.
Doug.
It has to be dug with a spoon, or else it's just
Yeah.
not.
No, I don't trust any newfangled shovels.
They're listening to you.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever?
Shovels have ears.
Shovels. Newfangled shovels. Got to use a spoon. All right, I'm gonna lose it. All right. Have you guys heard? We talk about our solar system all the time. Did you know that our sun has a little tilt to it?
It's got
No.
a tilt. It's got a little wibble wobble going on.
Our sun's got a little wibble wobble.
A little off its axis. Is it?
Yeah, well, it's not really the sun. The sun just seems that way. It's just that the entire orbiting plane of planets around the sun is at an angle. And it shouldn't be, but it is. And so that makes the sun seem like it's at an angle, but there's a little wibble wobble
It's
in
sort
the
of a
system.
matter of perspective.
But Kiki,
It
why?
is. That is the question. It's the solar systemic question.
Okay.
And
Nice.
researchers publishing a new article. They are presenting. It's in the upcoming issue of Astrophysical Journal. It's already been out in the archive for peer review, and it's presented yesterday at the American Astronomical Society's Division for Planetary Sciences annual meeting. They say it's Planet 9. This big giant planet, like maybe Planet X, not Nibiru, whatever. We've been talking about this big giant planet that's way far away from the sun, way out there, and maybe like Jupiter and Saturn threw it out there early in the solar system's development. But it's giant. It's way more massive than the Earth. And so it probably has a very significant gravitational influence on things in the solar system. And if it were maybe in here in the solar system and possibly flung out at an early stage of development of the solar system, it really could have affected how the solar system set itself around the sun. And according to the researchers, Brown and Batkin, they've done a number of models in which Planet 9's angular momentum could have had this massive amount of impact. So take its mass, its angular momentum at how it's spinning around, orbiting around the sun, way out there, like a yo-yo, way out there, that it could have changed the plane of the planets and affected the spinning cloud to have a around 6-degree tilt off flat. So maybe Planet 9 did it. We don't know why Planet 9 would have ended up in an odd off-axis orbit that would have affected all the rest of the other planets. We don't know why it would have done that. Maybe, like I said, could have been ejected from the solar system. Also could have been a lone traveler that came in and started influencing the solar system. But there is a path in the sky that has been predicted now by many people working on this hypothetical Planet 9. And so Brown and Battigan are going to work through the year looking for signs of Planet 9 in the sky. Brown says it might take about 3 years for them to find it. But they think within 3 years they will have found Planet 9.
That's totally crazy.
Yeah, I think it's so wild that, some early on, some massive object just got in there, and because it's whipping around so much, it whipped everything into a weird little frenzy.
Yeah.
Changed the whole plane of the solar system's orbit around the
and
sun.
the idea that it could still be there and
Yeah.
didn't notice it. Like,
I know, I didn't even
feel
see
like,
it.
I feel like our solar system is mapped. Like, we get it. We've seen it all. We know where everything is. to find out that there could be a big planet zipping around somewhere that we just don't even haven't noticed.
It's so awesome.
Crazy.
I love it. We don't know everything. There's so much to find.
Couldn't it have had been there, but now isn't there somehow? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that it was there and it.
I don't know if it needs to still be there. Like, it could have gotten smacked into something and might be the Oort cloud now or whatever. Like, I don't know if does it have to still be there? It's been a while.
It's a great question.
I think we would have noticed. Don't we have people looking up?
No.
Don't we?
But
like,
maybe
always have
not
people looking up at the night sky.
But it's really far away. Like,
yeah, but I figure somebody might have seen it and been like, "Oh, what's that? Oh, it's probably nothing." No, you would be like, "Oh, that's I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong."
But see, Justin, you're forgetting that the Earth is flat, so Planet 9 is below us. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
It's a different show, Blair. It's a different show.
Blair.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't be a scrotum frog.
No! How dare you?
All right. This is This Week in Science. Justin, what you got?
I've got a huge red flag in archaeological identification of early hominid tools. And that giant red flag is being raised by monkeys. Wild bearded Capuchin.
Capuchins?
Oh, the ones that wear the hats and have the symbols. The organ grinder monkeys. Yeah.
They have been observed deliberately breaking stones, creating flakes that share many of the characteristics of those produced by early Stone Age hominins. The Capuchin flakes are not intentional tools for cutting and scraping, but seem to be the byproduct of hammering or percussive behavior that the monkeys engage in to extract powdered silicon or lichen from stone. At no point did the monkeys that they were observing try to cut or scrape with these flakes. According to the study that is published in Nature, the research team says the finding is significant because archaeologists had always understood that the production of multiple stone flakes with characteristics such as conchoidal fractures and sharp edges was the behavior unique to hominins. Paper suggests that scholars may need to revisit their criteria for identifying intentionally produced early stone flakes made by hominins. And then this is lead author Dr. Thomas Prophet from the School of Archaeology, University of Oxford, says, within the last decade, studies have shown that the use and intentional production of sharp-edged flakes are not necessarily linked to early humans or our direct relatives, but instead were used and produced by a wide range of hominids. There's one of the oldest that we think is a tool find that we believe might not have been a direct ancestor to us, Homo sapiens, but would have been a cousin that has maybe since disappeared. However, this study goes one step further in showing that modern primates can produce archaeologically identical flakes and cores with features that we thought were unique to hominids, which also sort of brings up like what came first, a monkey with a rock or a human making a tool? Like, could it be that the early human, because we are such fantastic adapters, right? We're inventive too, but we're also fantastic observers and adapters of nature around us.
Are you implying that we stole tool use
We
from
stole
monkeys?
the technology from monkeys. We were like we picked up after monkey and found all these sharp tools. We said, wow, these are really useful. And after maybe a couple of months or years or maybe 100 years of sitting around, a tradition of sitting around waiting for monkeys to bash rocks together, actually we could probably do this ourselves.
That
like,
checks
we don't need
out
to,
pretty well. I feel like that's pretty likely.
Yeah, because I mean, we weren't. I mean, I guess because the monkey has found something of nutritional use for bashing these rocks together and trying to get something out of it, and humans, I don't know that we ever tried to get some sort of silicon.
But maybe we did. I mean, if the monkeys were doing it,
That's
maybe we
also
were
possible.
too. And maybe then it's maybe all the way through our evolution, we've been
Right.
bashing rocks, trying to scrape lichen off of rocks, trying to get trace nutrients. I mean, people eat sand and rocks now, pica. If you're missing trace nutrients, you want to lick walls and eat dirt,
Yeah.
And
Which
so
is what they
it's
think
very-
these monkeys are doing for the silicon.
And it's very possible that all through the evolutionary path that all of our ancestors have been mashing and crashing and bashing. And at some point, someone went, look at this little sharp bit. I can use that for something else.
I like the idea of watching monkeys first better. But what if much of the hominin tool use turns out to be we were just licking rocks? They weren't even using the tool.
Yeah.
They're just
Licking rocks, licking frogs,
hundreds of thousands of years. They were just licking
Don't say it,
rocks.
Kiki.
I'm not going to.
Yes. So
What kind of frogs,
likely-
Kiki? What kind of
Stop.
frogs were they licking?
Don't even. So I think it's likely that the tool use and I guess the neurons required to figure some of this out probably goes way farther back, farther than even just primates. We see what you could or could not call tool use, but definitely an understanding of using foreign objects to get food or to achieve some sort of goal way far down in the lineage. And we talk about that on the show all the time. So the likelihood that everybody's using tools and it's a matter of time until we see it. Kind of like the vocalization thing. We thought that only certain animals vocalized and communicated with one another. And it's becoming more and more and more obvious that everybody's doing it.
Yeah, and they point to that in the study too. They say that Dr. Prophet says the findings challenge previous ideas about the minimum level of cognitive and morphological complexity required to produce numerous flakes like these. So, yeah, we underestimate things, don't we? We do. But there's this, and it's a sense that that humans have taken to when I say humans too. This is not entirely, but largely this is a sort of white European sense of superiority over things and people. It's not just nature that the Western world has thought itself superior to. The Western man has also thought himself very superior to other humans for much of our history. So, not surprising that we would have done the same thing across the animal kingdom.
Well, we are a part of nature. We are a biological organism. We are a primate. So
now we are. But we haven't always been in the minds of the West.
Right.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
European man did not think he was part of nature, but sort of placed amidst it. This is this big learning curve that we're having to unlearn even the basic principles of being on the planet that, some other humans have known for thousands and thousands of years. It's the Western mindset that's actually just coming to this point of view.
And if you are coming into this point in the show, this is This Week in Science, but you know what time it is?
I think it's that time once again for
Blair's Animal Corner.
That's the one. That's right.
She loves our creatures, cry that small. Biped, millipede, no pet at all. Wanna hear about animals? She's your girl. Except for giant pandas and squirrels.
What you got, Blair?
I have a whole bunch of animals doing things that previously has been considered very human. So very apropos of the conversation we were just having. But we're jumping way out of the taxa here. We're not even talking about primates right now. I'm even jumping out of the mammal repertoire, and we're going in to look at birds.
I love birds.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about a member of Corvidae, one of my favorite groups of birds. Those are ravens and crows and jays, and in this case, magpies. Magpies are famous for a few things, mostly stealing things, and in particular, stealing shiny things. But these magpies, in a recent study, Azure-winged magpies, have been found to do things that previously we thought were something that just humans did. And that is that they show what I would extrapolate from this study to be what we call random acts of kindness. We call that pro-social behavior. And what that means is that they are doing something for someone else in their social group or in their species without expected reciprocation.
Wow.
So what would be the benefit?
And also, does this have to do with how related they are to the individuals?
Right. And it doesn't appear to. So in this study, they took these magpies, they had them land on a perch, and the birds operated a seesaw mechanism by landing there. And that would bring food into reach of other group members. If the bird wanted to try to grab the food for themselves, they would have had to leave the perch and the seesaw would tilt back, the food would go away. So they could never get the food by sitting on the perch. But they pretty consistently would perch themselves there, continue to deliver food to other members of their species across all of the experimental sessions, and at pretty high rates, actually similar rates to humans and cooperatively breeding primates. They only operated the apparatus when group members could actually obtain food. So for part of the study, this seems mean, they actually blocked the access to food. Even though the food was rolling forward, it kind of got stuck before the other magpies could grab it. And then the magpie who was landing on the apparatus kind of gave up after that once their buddies couldn't reach the food anymore. So this, in theory, supports the hypothesis that raising offspring cooperatively promotes the emergence of pro-social tendencies, because these magpies do raise their babies in big groups. So they need to now do tests on non-cooperatively breeding birds to see if this is directly related to that trend, or if birds are just kind of nice to one another.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that this is definitely related to the lifestyle habits of the species in question, and this is not going to be something that will be generalizable over species or across species.
Right.
Yeah.
But this
Just
also remembering that these are corvids, which means they're super smart. It's a very smart group of birds.
Yeah.
So they definitely know. I would guess that as corvids, these magpies know that when they provide food for their conspecifics that also help raise their babies, healthy adults make healthy babies if everyone's helping out. So I would even challenge the finding from this saying that there's not a direct benefit to them feeding the other individuals. That in fact, they get something in return, and that is they have healthy adults helping raise their babies.
Mm-hmm.
But this is definitely something that is complex and is something that has been considered fairly uniquely human, and at the very least, very primate.
Which at the same time, humans throughout our history have been tribal, which could be considered, and many individuals have been involved in rearing of young, and that could be considered cooperative breeding, social cooperatively breeding groups, which is comparative to this situation.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't we all remember it takes a village?
Yeah, it does. And now I think, we've got helicopter moms and all sorts of weird stuff going on. I think the same tests in humans now would not get the same results.
Yeah, what an interesting point. Ooh, maybe the birds are better than us.
I think so.
Yeah. And in another story of where animals, they're just like us. It's like stars, they're just like us. Fish, they're just like us. So, triggerfish have been shown to be fooled by visual illusions, just like humans. From a recent study from the University of Queensland School of Biological Sciences and Queensland Brain Institute, they had triggerfish tested with the same visual illusions that they used to test humans. They used the lightness cube illusion test. In that experiment, there's a it looks kind of like a Rubik's cube, and on the top of a cube there is an orange square, and on the side where it's in shade there is a square that is brown, but they are both actually the same color. It's an optical illusion.
It's like the dress.
It's like the dress. Exactly. It's the blue and black or white and gold dress debacle all over again. It's an optical illusion based on reference points that your brain uses to assign colors. Okay. So that is something that we know humans do based on the dress, but also actual behavioral experiments where they rewarded individuals for identifying different colors. They did the same test with these triggerfish with a food reward. The fish took to this test very well. Apparently, they loved the test. I'm projecting here, anthropomorphizing, but they eagerly partook in the test for a food reward. And so they were trained to approach and peck at one colored square, orange or brown, and then they received the reward. But when they were presented with the illusion in which the orange and brown are actually the same color, the fish preferentially chose the square that was most similar to their trained color, even though they were both the same. So they think the target is lighter colored, and they perceive the two colors as different, even though they're the same. It's just based on context clues of the colors. So this makes sense because these animals, the triggerfish, are from the Great Barrier Reef. This is an extremely colorful, extremely light, dynamic place. So all of these animals, especially triggerfish, use colors to identify each other, identify threats, identify food, identify safe space, identify males from females, all these sorts of things. So they need to be able to analyze and see different colors. Therefore, it would make perfect sense for them to be susceptible to the same illusions, considering light and dark and shade and sun and all those sorts of things happening in the shallow reef.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, it's when you take into account the dynamic range of vision that these fish on the coral reef must be capable of. This is, our eyes, we can see what we can see because of our brains. And so it makes me wonder how much of this is actual visual processing in the fish visual cortex.
Right. Which then begs the question, has the visual cortex changed much since fish? I mean, fish are the most basal vertebrate, right? So the wiring that they have in their brain to discern color and light and dark has got to be pretty similar to ours if they're having this same confusion. And so that means that stuff did not need to change since fish.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Also, I would love to do the experiment to see if Blair is still colorblind underwater.
I would assert that yes, I am.
Is Blair a fish? No.
Is Blair more fish-like?
Yeah, we can talk about it more in the after show, but I might actually have some colorblind glasses coming my way pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been talking about this. Awesome.
Yeah. We'll have to do that test once I'm wearing them and see if it's any different.
That's right. All right, everybody. I hope that you can see clearly now that we've gotten through the animal corner. It is time for us to take a break. We will be back in just a few more moments with lots of more stories here on This Week in Science. Stay tuned.
Can't explain the things you heard with more than intuition. The line of reason shows the way to go.
The methods and hypothesis suggest that, hey, you should join us at the Maryland STEM Festival, November 4th, opening ceremonies at the National Aquarium in Baltimore, Maryland. It would be so wonderful to meet you in person. If you could join us at the aquarium, that would be so much fun. We will be interviewing a NASA scientist, an aquarium biologist, and we will also be joined by beatboxer and vocal percussionist Shotake. We are going to have so much fun. I mean, you could shake a stick at it if you wanted to, but I don't really know why you would. Hey, kids, get off my not very sciencey lawn. I don't know. That doesn't sound like fun. So please, I hope you do, if you're in the Maryland area, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, anywhere around there, Virginia, come to the show. Join us at the National Aquarium, November 4th. 2 p.m. Eastern time is when I believe it will kick off. All you need to do is buy a ticket to the aquarium, and that will get you into our show. We'll give you more information on exactly where it will be in the aquarium as we get closer to the date. If you're not able to join us, don't worry, we will be live on the air. So we will be streaming to the internet the whole time as well, and hope and really do look forward to seeing you at the STEM Festival in Maryland. Check out more at marylandstemfestival.org for more events in the Maryland STEM Festival in the beginning of November. TWIS also has merchandise that you might enjoy. Head on over to TWIS.org. TWIS.org is where you can find all sorts of great things related to the show, and one of them is our Zazzle store. You just got to go to TWIS.org and click on the Zazzle store link at the top of the page, the menu bar, Zazzle store. It'll take you to the Zazzle store, where you will then be able to see all of our products. Blair right now is holding up her phone cover, which is a wonderful Tyrannosaurus Rex art that she drew for last year's or this year's Blair's Animal Corner calendar, and for our Patreon sponsors. And oh yeah, it's lovely phone cover. You're a wonderful model for that phone cover, Blair. You can pick up more products like that, or products that are emblazoned with the TWIS logo, just by heading on over to Zazzle. Other ways that you can help our show out. I mean, part of the proceeds of these sales do go directly to us and the show and help support the show. So by buying our goods, you are helping to support the show. If you would like to support the show in other ways, we also take donations through Patreon and PayPal. Again, on TWIS.org's main page, there is a link to our PayPal donation site, which is pretty easy to click on. It's on the right-hand side menu bar, support TWIS, donate, make a donation. You click on that, it'll take you to forms where you can use PayPal credit cards to be able to donate. And additionally, we have a Patreon account. Patreon will allow you to join in supporting the show in an ongoing fashion. You just click the big Become a Patron button, and it'll allow you to pledge at whatever level of pledging is your preference. We've got many levels, including the $15 or more per episode level, in which Blair will hand draw you artwork, and she's been working very hard at making amazing, beautiful works of art that you can of animals and lots of neat stuff that you can frame and collect all 5. I mean, 12. I mean, You got to eat the whole cereal box before you can get one, though. Everyone, that's Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/thisweekinscience directly, or again, you can just go to the Patreon link on TWIS.org to be able to support us through Patreon. If you are not able to support us financially, but would like to support us in kind, we are we would love your help getting new listeners and viewers to TWIS. Share our YouTube page, share us on iTunes, share us on whatever platform you listen to or watch us on. Share us. That is one of the biggest things that we could use help on. There are also other ways that you can help, artwork or website stuff, or lots of things. If you have an idea of how you can help, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. We really could not do this without your support. No, we could not. I mean, we'd be doing it, but we'd be like just talking to ourselves, and it would be super boring. And we want to do more. We want to bring you more, and we can only do that with your help. We thank you for your support. We really could not do this without you.
I go to book signings and vie for shelf space. Why would you wait for your agent to call you in Venice and try to convince you he's worth 12%? Why would you bother with talk shows and a crazed publicist? Why deal with the people that repeatedly insist that you show them real proof that your powers exist? Hey, convince some real skeptics or cease and desist. Trust me, 6 months from now, you folks will not be missed.
And we are back with more This Week in Science.
Oh, yeah. Justin, tell me a story.
Birds do it. Bees do it. Naughty Neanderthal, Denisovians, and Homo sapiens did it. And that last group did it together some 50,000 years ago. And as we attempt to tease out the who got what from that genetic lottery swap of hominoid bopping, one winner stands out. Tibetans. Thanks to some Denisovian-derived DNA, Tibetans have the EPAS1 gene, EPAS1, which makes them less prone to hypoxia at high altitudes. This is a recent finding inspired by this example. Computational biologists Fernando Racamo, David Marnedo, and Emilia Huerta Sanchez have developed statistical tools and simulations to successfully identify the signatures of these interbred genomic regions. This is in quotey voice. Many studies have focused on the patterns of archaic introgression at the genome-wide level. We realized we knew very little about what to expect for a local region of the genome, said Huerta Sanchez, who led the study. She goes on, we wanted to know whether the patterns of genetic variation observed at the EPAS1 gene could be used to identify other intergress regions that were also beneficial for modern humans. So they looked at genomic regions of present-day human populations that looked extremely similar to Neanderthal or Denisovian genomes, and also very different from the genomes of other present-day populations. They went through this list. They've adapted their tools to examine 1,000 genome data sets and identified and expanded on a number of promising candidates and genes within these regions. These mostly, it turns out, are including things like genes involved in fat metabolism, pigmentation, and the immune system. So they speculate these unique changes may have allowed our ancestors, Homo sapien ancestors, to survive Eurasia during the Pliocene and may have been passed on to present-day populations. So this is a fantastic. So they're zeroing in now on those things that we've kept, those beneficial genes that have given themselves a home in Homo sapiens going forward, or at least Westernized, non-African direct descent, recent direct descent peoples who have this cross-pollination, the Denisovan and Neanderthal. So it sounds like we're going to be getting many more of these stories to come as a result of it. This is fascinating stuff. But the Tibetans can owe their high altitude, less prone to hypoxia-ness to Denisovian genes that got in there, stuck around.
I think that's so interesting. I mean, we've been trying to figure out exactly when and where that mutation came about, why it came about, who, where the Tibetans got it.
And it may not be a mutation.
Right.
That's what sort of, I mean, it may not be a mutation.
That's what they thought, is that it was a mutation that arose.
And it still could be,
well,
it would have been
in a sense, but yeah.
A Denisovian mutation, right? A mutation that could have taken place, 400,000 or 500,000 years earlier than it appeared in the Tibetan population,
which potentially changes the story about hypoxia in Tibetans. So that's interesting,
right? And so some of this is also like, we've talked somewhat about the show about how long it would take a trait like pigmentation. Is it being in the sort of northern European area for 20,000 years? Is that enough? 5,000, 8,000, 10,000 years for skin to become lighter? Is that enough time? Or is the pigmentation going to come from a population that had been there for 500,000 years? And could this be a result of interbreeding with Neanderthals? Things like they've already talked about in the past. It's very likely that Neanderthals contributed red hair and freckles, and possibly then you could extrapolate from that the lighter skin pigments as well. So I think we're going to more and more learn that modern human differentiation might be less evolutionary, direct evolutionary change within the Homo sapien line, and an adaptation of genes from intermingling with Neanderthal and Denisovian. So it in a way is going to sort of push back how long maybe it takes for these sorts of traits to evolve. Yeah. They still evolved, just perhaps in a different population and over a longer maybe period of time.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Right?
Yeah, love that story. I have a story about lithium. Gotta calm ourselves down, right? Let's mellow out, stabilize our moods, everybody.
Are you talking like lithium-ion batteries? Like I should lick a battery?
No, don't lick a battery. No, that's not the story.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay, sorry.
That's not
robots in the future, maybe. Maybe a robot future over
robots with
lithium batteries
robots
and
with
insides.
psychiatric disorders. Exactly.
Please explain.
Nature will have come full circle at that point when they're just trying to smash battery. Must get
Tell me about the lithium.
So, lithium has long been known to act as a mood stabilizer, and it has been prescribed for bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, many other disorders in which people experience very agitated states and need to be stabilized and calmed down. And, people who take it, they do complain that it also, removes, it causes lack of affect a little bit because it calms you down so much. But it does get rid of these crazy peaks and kind of this neural hyperactivity. And it's been this big question of how exactly does lithium have its effect on mood and on the neurons? And there's a new study that really wasn't out to discover this. They just used lithium in their study, and they were looking at abnormalities in brain development that lead to psychiatric diseases. And so they were looking at mutated mice that had a mutated pathway, that's signaling pathway. It's called the WNT pathway, WNT. The signaling pathway is mutated, and there's a particular receptor that they were looking at. The genetic sequence of it is a form of something called DIXDCI, and it's a key gene in this WNT pathway for a receptor. And these mutants don't have this DIXDCI. They don't show it. And so as a result, the WNT pathway isn't stimulated the way that it needs to be, and the mutant mice are they're antisocial. They have a lot of anxiety. They just want to. They don't try to swim when you put them in water. They're just like, I'm gonna drown. They just, this is like depressed mice, right? They're not happy mice. And so they had this model and they imaged the brains, and then they also gave the mice lithium and in one part of the treatment. And what they found is that the mutants treated with lithium, they did very, very high resolution imaging of not just neurons, but the dendritic spines. And the dendritic spines are it's like little tree branches that are coming off the tree branches, like little leaves that come off the tree branches of your neurons. And they are the things, the dendritic spines are what actually lead to synapses. And so the mutants with this misformed or non-existent receptor, DIXDCI, and their Wnt pathway, they don't have very many dendritic spines on their neurons. But when they were given lithium, the mutants tended to have an increase in the number of dendritic spines on their dendrites of their neurons that made them look almost the same as normal mice. And so what is suggested here is that lithium is blocking an enzyme that inhibits this Wnt pathway and therefore gets the Wnt pathway moving again. And if the Wnt pathway is moving, it allows the formation of these dendritic spines, creation of receptors, things that are needed to communicate with other cells.
An important side note. It's unblocking a path.
Yes.
It's self-stimulating greater growth. So no.
Exactly. It's a very important point.
To give yourself a mental boost. This is not.
Right. This isn't going to boost anything. It's not going to make your brain grow more dendrites so that you'll be smarter. What it's doing.
It'll just unblock if you have something keeping them from occurring naturally.
Exactly. Yeah, it just unblocks it. But this is, a big question is, we have these drugs and we know some of them, okay, selective serotonin uptake inhibitors, reuptake inhibitors. We know where they work and kind of how they work, but lithium is something that's been used for a really long time. We don't know exactly what is going on to allow these drugs to have the specific effects that they do. And the more that we understand about how the drugs work to benefit the brain and benefit behavior, the more we might be able to create drugs that work even better and are even more specific in one side of this. And on the other side, it'll allow us to understand more about the nervous system and the brains, the genetic pathways, the cellular signaling pathways that are involved, so that we know what is going wrong in certain behavioral impairments.
Well, not to mention that helps us make better combinations of treatments. It helps us know which combinations to avoid.
Yeah.
And it's just so much of medicine has a correlative basis, right? So we know that giving a certain treatment yields the result we want, but we don't know what the cause of it is.
Yeah.
And
we haven't
so
done the drill down to find out.
It's a very important part of the medical field and of research is finding out why certain treatments work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because that's only going to make our medical care better.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Take this. What's it do? I don't know. But you feel better.
Exactly. It'll make you feel better.
And then it's amazing. And then they're befuddled to discover that it doesn't work on everybody.
Right,
You know?
but thankfully, research and statistics and many, many, many years of research and statistics help us know that there is a high likelihood that treatments work. Even when we don't know exactly what it is that does it.
Oh, absolutely. Yet. Absolutely. But just like what you said before, it just makes it better when we do know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Justin, you have any more stories?
I do have more. Let's see. Where
I
is
want to hear about the bison.
No, I
Oh.
mean the bosun.
No.
The bosun? The bison.
Higgs bosun, bison.
Did I bring that story?
Yeah, you did.
Is it hiding again?
Oh my god. Oh yeah, no, here we go. This is ancient DNA research.
Kiki, well done. Kiki, well done. Research, yes.
Ancient DNA research has revealed that Ice Age cave artists weren't bad at recording the animals they saw amongst them. They were actually quite good at it. In fact, one such piece recorded a previously unknown hybrid species of bison and cattle in great detail on cave walls more than 15,000 years ago. Mysterious species known affectionately by the researchers as the Higgs Bison because of its elusive nature. Originated over 120,000 years ago through the hybridization of an extinct ancestor to the modern cattle and the Ice Age steppe bison, which ranged across the cold grasslands, apparently from Europe to Mexico. I mean, it was all over the place. Research led by the Australian Centre for Ancient DNA at the University of Adelaide, published in Nature Communications, has revealed that the mystery hybrid species eventually became the ancestor of the modern European bison, or wisent, which is still there but just kind of barely non-preserves. Finding that a hybridization event led to a completely new species was a real surprise, as this isn't really meant to happen in mammals, said study lead professor Alan Cooper, director, the Australian Centre for Ancient DNA director, who still seems to be grappling with the fact that nature doesn't mean for things to happen. Things simply occur when they can. The genetic signals from the ancient bison bones were very odd, he says, but we weren't quite sure a species really existed, so we referred to it as the Higgs Bison. International team of researchers, including the University of California, Santa Cruz, and Polish bison conservation researchers, and other paleontologists across Europe and Russia, they went looking back at bones and teeth that they found in caves across Europe, the Urals and the Caucasus Mountains, to trace the genetic history of the populations of this Higgs bison. They found a distinctive genetic signal from many fossil bison bones, which was quite different from the European bison or any other known species. Radiocarbon dating showed that the mystery species dominated the European record for thousands of years and at different points, but alternated over time with the steppe bison, which had been considered previously to be the only species of bison present in the late Ice Age Europe. Dated bones revealed that new species and the steppe bison swapped dominance in Europe several times in concert with major environmental changes caused by climate changes. Says Dr. Julien Soubier from the University of Adelaide. When we asked, French cave researchers told us there were indeed two distinct forms of bison art in Ice Age caves. And it turns out their ages match those of the different species having dominance. Right? We never have guessed the cave artists had helpfully painted pictures of both species for us. So, and cave paintings, they depict bison with either really long horns and large forequarters, which is much like the American bison today, or with shorter horns and small humps, which is more like the modern European bison. So they were doing their science. They were out there doing their nature observation.
Yeah.
Painting. It wasn't
Recording
just like
in their cave notebook.
The horns too long. Sometimes they give them too big. No, they were actually accurately depicting different bison that we until just now didn't really realize existed.
Yes, the tunnel field guide.
Right? Yeah, once formed, new hybrid species seem to have successfully carved out a niche on the landscape and kept to itself genetically. It dominated during colder tundra-like periods without warm summers, and was the largest European species to survive the megafaunal extinctions. However, the modern European bison look genetically quite different, as they went through a genetic bottleneck. They went down to 12 bison in the 20s, almost went extinct. And that's why the ancient form looked so much like a new species to us initially, says Professor Cooper. As a little side note, Professor Beth Shapiro, University of Santa Cruz, first detected the mystery bison as part of her PhD research with Cooper at the University of Oxford in 2001. And she says, 15 years later, it's great to finally get the full story out. It's certainly been a long road with a surprising number of twists. So that's kind of fun. This is, 15 years after saying, hey, there seems to be something here. This is worth looking into. And now she has her answer. Fantastic.
I want a Higgs Bison T-shirt.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be
I was just
awesome.
gonna think that I am dumb. It's boson. No, it's
No, but that would make for a fun, maybe next year's calendar, a catalog of extinct mammals, and you could have the Higgs Bison.
There you go.
But we've already used the mastodon. Or did you do a mammoth?
I did a mammoth.
Oh, you could do a mastodon next time.
Mm-hmm. I could.
Dodo bird.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a whole year of extinction.
How about another story about space? Yeah, we've got a couple of there are a couple of cool space stories out there. Or do you want mind control of yourself?
Both.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Space first, because we like the space. So today we had the ExoMars mission making it to Mars. So 7 months ago, a craft was launched by the European Space Agency and the Russian Federal Space Agency. It's the Trace Gas Orbiter. It was also traveling with the Italian Space Agency's Schiaparelli lander. So it traveled this ExoMars mission has traveled all the way to Mars. The TGO, the Trace Gas Orbiter, has successfully inserted into the atmosphere, into orbit around, not atmosphere, but into orbit around Mars. But Schiaparelli's landing has yet to be confirmed. There was a loss of data just ahead of touchdown. The ESA and Italian Space Agency don't really know what happened, but hopefully they will have more information tomorrow. This ExoMars project is the Exobiology on Mars project, and it is a three-way venture between the ESA, the ASI, and Roscosmos. And it is the concept is that it is going to go to look for trace gases that could be indicative of life on Mars. And additionally, the Schiaparelli lander is going to be doing further roving missions on the surface of Mars. But we don't know whether the Schiaparelli lander is okay. We'll find out. Hopefully we'll find out tomorrow. So breaking news, breaking, and hopefully it's not a breaking rover news. Because you know what? Bit of trivia. So far, only NASA landers or rovers have survived landing. So it would be nice to have, the Italians in that club too. But so far, NASA's the only one that has surviving rovers, landers on the surface of Mars. And additionally, New Horizons. Remember New Horizons, the mission that went out to Pluto? Mm-hmm. Took a bunch of pictures, and we've been oohing and awing over the cool surface of Pluto and its moon Charon for months since. Uh-huh. Now, New Horizons didn't stop. It kept going, right? And so New Horizons is continuing out into space, and they have it on track, speeding towards an object in the Kuiper Belt known as MU-69. MU-69. It's just an object in the Kuiper Belt. Nobody knows what it is. It's a rock. It has a red surface. We don't know what this red surface is. It might even be redder than the splotches on Pluto, in Pluto's little heart. The estimate is that New Horizons will arrive at MU-69 on January 1st, New Year's Day 2019. This object measures...
Stick around, folks.
Yeah, a couple of years to go, but it's going to get closer and closer, and it is actually going to make a closer flyby of this object than it did of Pluto. So knowing that it's got a pretty good camera on it, we might get some very interesting images of this Kuiper Belt object. The object measures about 20 to 30 miles in diameter. It is 1.6 billion miles beyond Pluto. Not from the sun. 1.6 billion miles from Pluto.
That's far.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is very exciting. The red color suggests that it might have tholins, a class of molecules formed through ultraviolet radiation of simple organic compounds like methane and ethane. It doesn't form here on Earth, but it is abundant on the surface of icy bodies in the outer solar system. So it's not surprising if it does, if tholin checks out as the compound on the surface. And scientists, according to Gizmodo, have confirmed that Mu-69 is part of the cold classical region of the Kuiper Belt. And this doesn't mean that it's like cold sounding classical music that plays there constantly. This is an area of the Kuiper Belt that contains some of the oldest objects in the solar system. It's pretty far out, man.
It's a bit far.
It is a bit far. Yeah. I think this is exciting. I love these craft that we have headed out beyond where people have ever been, headed out of our solar system. It's just like the Voyager craft, the New Horizons craft is taking us places and giving us a view of our solar system that we would never have otherwise. And it's wondrous. It's wondrous and wild. And then view of our own brains. You want my final story? Yeah. Okay. So we have self-control, right? Some of us.
Some of us more than others, for sure.
Some of it, certain amount of self-control, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, where does that self-control come from? What is the area of the brain that's responsible for deciding whether or not you're going to eat the donut now or you're going to wait for 2 donuts later? Are you going to take the money now or are you going to wait for 3 months to get the money?
Lump sum or installments for the lottery. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so
give me up front now. Get it now. Right
now. Now. Yes, our brain loves now. And but there is an area of the brain that researchers just published a study in Scientific Advances on an area of the brain called the temporoparietal junction. Temporoparietal junction. And it's a brain region that the researchers say, and that in getting into this work, they're like, you look at the literature and you look at this neuroimaging data for like gratification studies, delayed gratification studies. You look in the neuroimaging data and nobody ever talks about it. Nobody ever makes any conclusions about it. But this area, the temporoparietal junction, is also active during delayed gratification. So they're like, okay, let's try and do something with it, and specifically with this area of the brain, and interpret the results. And so they used magnetic impulses to turn off the temporoparietal junction in individuals in these studies. So subjects underwent 40 seconds of disruptive transcranial magnetic stimulation. This is where, take a induced magnetic coil and magnetize your brain in a specific area. And the electric currents that are induced by the magnetic field inhibit the activity of this brain area, specifically the posterior temporoparietal junction. And then the people had to do a task, and they spent 30 minutes doing it. The task for some subjects was to make a choice between a reward, and it could be anywhere between, this was Swiss study. They're in the University of Zurich. So it was 75 to 155 Swiss francs for themselves, or another reward that was shared equally by themselves and another person. And this other person could have been someone they know, or it could have been a stranger on the streets. Then there was another task in which they were given an immediate reward of somewhere between 0 to 160 Swiss francs. Or if they waited for 3 to 18 months, they would be guaranteed 160 Swiss francs.
Mm.
And then in the final task, people were told that they needed to take the perspective of a virtual avatar in a computer situation. And then take that perspective of the avatar and indicate how many red dots were on a ball that the avatar would see, but not what they were seeing, but that avatar. So the finding with this TPJ, the temporoparietal junction, being inhibited is that people really were less able to take the perspective of others. So they were less able to take the perspective, as in the third task, of the virtual avatar if their temporoparietal junction had been inhibited. And they were less likely to share money with other people. And they were more likely to take money up front instead of waiting for the certain larger prize later.
So it sounds like they're having trouble putting themselves in their own shoes in the future.
Yeah. And so the reason that delayed gratification works sometimes and doesn't work others is that it has to do with you being able to visualize the needs and the wants of your future self. Because your brain separates your future self as almost as if it's another person.
Wow.
But then again, maybe it gives you the ability to rationalize the fact that tomorrow Justin has never done anything for right now, Justin. Tomorrow, Justin, he's gonna hit up my bank account for all the work I did today. He's gonna spend the money I made on stuff that he wants that I don't even get any piece of. He's gonna complain that I stayed up too late, even though he's the one that's getting up that early. You know, but
Justin, Friday Blair is getting a paycheck to pay for the things that I bought on a credit card today.
That's true. That's because today, right? And then that's yesterday. That Friday Blair is going to be like, wow, yesterday Blair spent how much? She never sets me up right. She always puts me in the hole so that when I get my paycheck, I don't even get to spend it. So you're right. Because of the way that yesterday Blair acted and the fact that tomorrow Blair will never do anything for you, really it should all be about right now, Blair, shouldn't it?
Okay, fair.
Should it all be about right now, Blair? But I mean, that's a question. And it's interesting to think about how these different areas of our brains have evolved to allow us to not always take the perspective of right now. You know, but there are situations, depression or drug and alcohol abuse, or, you know, or just life experiences that lead to areas like the TPJ having less and less influence, not letting you take the perspective of other people's, making you maybe a little bit more selfish and not right now needing of things. So it kind of, for me, it makes me think about the idea of like, okay, we've talked about mindfulness as being a muscle that you need to practice. Maybe in situations, we need to start teaching people how to think of themselves in a future tense, in a future situation, so that if you can visualize yourself in the future more often, maybe in situations where you're kind of put on the spot to make a decision between now and later, now versus gratification now versus gratification later. Maybe if you practice, you'll be more able to make choices that are beneficial for future you.
Yeah, and this was I was alluding to towards the end of the disclaimer today. You know, people do sort of act as though nothing bad can happen to the planet and the environment while they're here. Like this won't be in their lifetime. And they also act as though it couldn't possibly even be in their children's lifetime, right? But you have to imagine that at some tomorrow, the impact will be severe. And if it's not to you, it could be your children. If it's not your children, at the very least, maybe it's your grandchildren, right? But this is this attitude of ignoring the gorilla or elephant or just whatever you want to call it in the room seems to be something we've gotten very good at.
Yeah. Oh, people, we're so good at that. Good job, people.
Let's try a little longer term thinking.
Yeah, I'd like everybody to take this moment to look into the future. Think of yourself in some far off future. What do you need? What do you want? Imagine future you. Become friends with future you. That's what you need to do. Yeah. Hey, Blair, who do you want to be friends with?
Jumping spiders.
I know, they're so cute.
They're the greatest. I want more jumping spiders in my future. So jumping spider brains, you'll appreciate this. We've learned a lot about spider hearing from an accident probing through, poking around in jumping spider brains at Cornell University. Gil Menda at Cornell and Ron Hoy, as well as Paul Shamble, they all have been working with neural recordings in the brains of jumping spiders. They have a new method where they can explore how jumping spiders process visual information. And they started recording one day from an area deeper in the brain than they had gone. And as they moved away from the spider, a chair squeaked on the floor. The way that the neural recordings are done, they set up a speaker so that you can hear when neurons fire. They make a really distinct pop sound. And when the chair squeaked, the neuron went pop. And he did it again, and the neuron went pop. This is interesting because it has previously been understood that spiders can only hear over a short distance. So it was expected that it's only actually even a few centimeters or so away. And especially with jumping spiders, they rely mainly, it was expected, on sight and tactile clues. But this new information tells us that these jumping spiders can hear from quite far away. In fact, they went outside of the room from the spiders, and they still responded to clapping sounds. So they can hear a lot farther, about 3 to 5 meters away, than we had previously thought. And in fact, on their feet, on their legs, they have sensory hairs. And they found that these forelegs had these sensitive neurons, and that actually these hairs are maybe how the spiders registered faraway sounds. So now this completely changes our understanding of how spiders see and hear and experience the world. And now they want to start, they're starting now doing neural recordings on fishing spiders, wolf spiders, and other spider species to see if this is also true for them. So stop talking smack about that spider across your room. They can hear you, and they might get sad.
Poor, I don't know if they get sad.
No, they won't. They don't understand English.
But we've talked about the jumping spiders and how they, drum on webs for mating dances, and how there is, hearing is vibration, right? It's the vibration of air molecules that hit in our ears, the tympanum. Spiders don't have ears, so to speak, but they do pick up vibrations. They're so small, and so if something is moving in such a way as to vibrate the strings in the web just enough, there's no reason why that wouldn't be considered, quote unquote, hearing it, if it's something that the spiders can respond to.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't know if they're hearing exactly like we hear, but
they're feeling it.
They can sense the sounds, and they responded exactly like they would to any other threat. They froze. And then they went about their day, and then the scientists clapped and they froze.
Oh, the spiders.
So they can hear from far away. It totally changes our expectation of how spiders experience the world. So stay tuned for more from spiders.
The spiders are listening. Shh.
Spiders love TWIS.
Spiders love TWIS. Turn it up. Turn up the TWIS for your
spiders. I talk about
spiders.
spider dancing and spider webs and spider sex. Spiders love TWIS.
That's right. This is another reason why spiders are such amazing dancers. Once more, with feeling. Let's see it, spiders. I want to see it. I want to see you dance. I also would love to take this moment to thank our Patreon sponsors. We have reached the end of the show once again, and we've gone through all of our stories, and it is time for us to thank the sponsors. Thank the sponsors. And I would do that, but I'm having to log in because it wasn't logged in correctly. I was in the wrong account. Oopsie, not the TWIS account. I was in another account. Okay, patron manager. I'm getting the patron manager so I can view all the current patrons and I can read you their names. Here goes. I will read you their names now. Chris Clark, Paul Disney, G. Burton Lattimore, Dave Friedel, John Ratnaswamy, Richard Onemus, Byron Lee, E.O. Jared Lysette, Ulysses Adkins, Kevin Parachan, Andy Keith Corsell, Jake Jones, Mike McGraw, James Randall, Eric Schwab, Bob Calder, Mark Mazzaros, Ed Dyer, Trainer 84, Brian Hedrick, Layla Marshall Clark, Charlene Henry, Don Kamarechka, Larry Garcia, Randy Mazuka, Tony Steele, Steve DeBell, Haroon Sarang, Melissa Mosley, Alex Wilson, Jason Schneiderman, Rudy Garcia, Greg Guthman, Dave Neighbor, Jason Dozier, Matthew Litwin, Eric Knapp, Jason Roberts, Craig Landon, Daryl Lambert, Rodney, David Wiley, Robert Aston, Darwin Hannon, Cosmic Gypsy, Brian Hone, Orly Radio, Brian Condren, Pixelfly Marked, Nathan Greco, Hexator, Deborah Smith, Mitch Neves, Flying Out, John Crocker, Richard Porter, Christopher Dreyer, Ben Rothig, Sylvan Westby, Artyom Shuwada, Dave Wilkinson, Steve Mushinsky, Rick Ramus, Gary Swinsberg, Phil Nadeau, Braxton Howard, Salgood Sam, Matt Sutta, Emma Grenier, Philip Shane, James Dobson, Kurt Larson, Stefan Insom, Michael George, Russell Jensen, Mountain Sloth, Jim Drapeau, Tara Payne, John Maloney, Jason Olds, James Paul West, Alec Doty, Illuma Lama, Joe Wheeler, Dougal Campbell, Craig Porter, Adam Mishkon, Aaron Luthen, Marjorie, Paul Stanton, David Simmerly, Tyler Harrison, Columbo Ahmed. This you for your support on Patreon. If you would like to support us on Patreon, you can find information at patreon.com/thisweekinscience. Also remember that you can help us out simply by telling your friends about TWIS. Tell them about our YouTube, tell them about our podcast, our radio show, whatever. It all helps. On next week's show, once again, we will be broadcasting live online at 8 p.m. Pacific time, twis.org/live. You can watch there live and join our chat room there. Don't worry if you can't make it, though. You can find our past episodes at twis.org/YouTube or just twis.org. No?
Yeah, hang on. I completely lost. Well, thank you for enjoying the show. Of course, TWIS is also available. I lost the page. What can I do? TWIS is also available as a podcast. Just Google This Week in Science in your iTunes directory, or if you have a mobile type device, you can look for TWIS for Droid app in the Android marketplace, or simply This Week in Science and anything Apple marketplacey.
Current Justin was like, I don't need that. That's for future Justin. For more information on anything you've heard here today, show notes will be available on our website. That's at www.twis.org.
What is it?
It's www.twis.org.
One more time.
And that's www.twis.org, where you can also make comments and start conversations. Start conversations with the hosts and other listeners.
Or you can contact us directly. Email Kirsten at thisweekinscience.com, Justin at twistminion@gmail.com, or Blair at blairbaz@twist.org. Just be sure to put twist, TWIS, somewhere in the subject line. Otherwise, your email will be spam filtered into oblivion. You can also hit us up on the Twitter, where we are at Twist Science, at Dr. Kiki, at Jackson Fly, and at Blair's Menagerie. We love your feedback. If there's a topic you would like us to cover or address, a suggestion for an interview, a haiku that comes to you in the night, please let us know.
We'll be back here next week, and we hope you'll join us again for more great science news.
And if you've learned anything from the show, remember,
It's all in your head.
This week in science. This week in science. This week in science. This week in science, it's the end of the world. So I'm setting up shop, got my banner unfurled. It says the scientist is in, I'm gonna sell my advice. Show them how to stop the robots with a simple device. I'll reverse global warming with a wave of my hand. And all it'll cost you is a couple of grand. 'Cause this week's science is coming your way. So everybody listen to what I say. I use the scientific method for all that it's worth. And I'll broadcast my opinion all over the earth. 'Cause it's This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 I've got one disclaimer and it shouldn't be news. That what I say may not represent your views. But I've done the calculations and I've got a plan. If you listen to the science, you may just better understand that we're not trying to threaten your philosophy. We're just trying to save the world from jeopardy. Jeopardy. And This Week in Science is coming your way. So everybody listen to everything we say. And if you use our method instead of rolling a die, we may rid the world of toxoplasma gondii. 'Cause it's This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 I've got a laundry list of items I want to address. From stopping global hunger to dredging Loch Ness. I'm trying to promote more rational thought. And I'll try to answer any question you've got. So how can I ever see the changes I seek when I can only set up shop 1 hour a week? This Week in Science is coming your way. You better just listen to what we say. And if you've learned anything from the words that we said, then please just remember it's all in your head. 'Cause it's This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 This Week in Science. This Week in Science. This Week in Science. 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 This Week in 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 Science.
And now we drive you till the dawn. We bring you more after show of the things. The science end of show now. Time for talking. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the after show.
Hello.
Hello, we like to join now. You come here. We talk now, yeah? You see? Da.
That.
Da. Okay, so
Yes.
I started doing my research on the button, and I think I've fixed the button
What button?
for ordering calendars. So I think I have something that I can put on the page now. I will need a picture of cover art, but I guess I'm gonna just put a button.
I haven't finished the cover art yet.
Okay.
But I'm gonna work on it tomorrow night. So
do it with that cover art then.
You wanna here? I can give you one of them.
I'm gonna do it right now as we speak.
Here, let me send you one of them, and you can just pick one.
No. Oh, what? Do you have
one
options?
Of the pieces?
You have option for cover art?
Well, I have some of the pieces, but I don't have the cover done yet. So give me 1 second. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, I think I figured it out for shipping. There's a certain point at which it will be most beneficial for me to purchase the flat price packing envelopes from the post office.
What's up? What?
But for most things, people are going to order just one calendar, and so it's just good just to have a single cost. It's when people order multiple calendars that things start getting weird. It's just weird, I tell you. But I think I figured it out.
Which one do you think should be the cover?
Oh, wait, I'm supposed to look at a window. Hold on. I'm doing too many things at once. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, I opened Firefox and it covered up Chrome, and I've got so many things open right now. What do you do? Which one you show me? Hello, Janiscu. Quantum Club is up. That's right.
I have to figure out how I'm gonna like package these. Like, I really liked the black background that said Blair's Animal Corner.
I like it. Yeah.
So I might have to get back in touch with
Patrick.
Yeah,
I thought I liked it having a little bit of an outline, and I like the or a border around the images.
Yeah, I liked
last year. So I'm going to hold up the calendar now. So the images last year, I like the fact that they had the border around them, and that they had the TWIS and the Blair's Animal Corner on every page. That's good.
Indeed.
Yeah. And I think because of the new size, it'll just be a little shorter, right? And then
it's
so
going to be
need as much black.
It's going to be like, this is not quite right, but something analogous to 8.5 by 11.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 8 to show you right now. There's 3 more. The 3 that I just showed everybody on screen, I haven't scanned those in yet. So I'm going to screen share so you can decide if you want one of these for the button. So, okay, so let's see. So that one. Which one can you see? You can see the frog. Okay, so I have the frog.
I got sniffly nose. I would like to.
I have Nautilus. Nautilus might be the best one.
Nautilus is awesome.
I have bird.
And
I have rabbit. And then
put antlers on that thing, and you just got a jackalope.
Only real animals. Then I have this, the Garibaldi.
Where's the Garibaldi?
Oh wait, I have to change my screen share. Hold on. Oh right. Screen share.
Right. Yeah, the Nautilus is pretty awesome.
Righto. Here we go. Nautilus, I think, is winning so far. So then there's the Garibaldi. Can you see the Garibaldi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then there's the Sandpiper.
Beautiful.
Then
banana slug.
There's the banana slug is also really good.
Banana slug flying through the forest.
He's not flying.
He looks like he's flying through the forest.
He's not flying.
He's like, I'm a super banana slug.
Those are really
Da-
amazing
da-
trees,
da-
by the way. Those trees, I'm very impressed. This is like
I'll make some GD art.
Bob Ross painting with.
That's right. I was inspired by
Flying
Bob
slug.
Ross.
Up
And
in
then
trees,
there's
up
the
in
grizzly bear.
trees. And the
Aw.
sleeping grizzly bear. It's cute.
So you can make one of them, put one of them up for now, and then we can change it to the cover art when I finish the cover art this weekend. If you want, I can send you both of those items.
Okay.
What say you?
I don't know. I don't know if I need an image for. Images do help for pre-orders.
You want the nautiloid?
Yeah, send me that one.
Okay.
That'd be great. Pages.
No, that's not what I want. Toolbox? What is even happening here? Okay, there we go. Okay, that's what I want.
Okay, appearance. Menus. Is that what I want to change?
New from clipboard. Yes.
The header. No, I change things so rarely. Every time I have to go in to do something on the website, I'm like, what did I do?
Nautilus.
Oh, but you know a problem. It's gonna happen.
Okay, so I have 8 scanned in. I have 3 more. I have a dragonfly, a mammoth, and a chameleon. That makes 11. And then I have the cover, and I'm going to do a hippo. And then I'm done. So I just need help making them look like a calendar. And then I need we need to open up that Google Doc again to change, to like edit which
Holidays.
Yes.
Okay, let me find the link and then I can share it with everybody. Let's see, search. Oh dear, where did I put it? It was a spreadsheet.
Nautiloid.
Science holidays. There it is. I think I found it.
Nautilus.
All right. If somebody can update all of the dates and share the link. I will share. You guys in the chat room, you want to help with the calendar? There's a calendar link in the chat room.
Okay, I sent you the nautiloid.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
So, because the holidays are not going to be on the exact same days.
True words.
Yeah. So since this is from last year's calendar, we're going to delete all the entered into calendar. What was category F? What are all those things? Oh, which month? Got it. Clear. Where's clear? Delete. There we go.
Oh, there's the Google Doc.
Dun, dun, dun. Add it to the calendar, Ed.
Uh,
I like it.
yeah.
So should I delete all of those dates that are these days?
Well, some of them don't change.
Yeah, some of them don't because they're just set days.
Some of them are number based,
Yeah.
like our birthdays.
Right. That's not going to change next year.
Right.
Right. Okay. I want to say hey to everyone who might be watching on YouTube right now. There's the YouTube live. We have a little chat room over there, and there have been a few people hanging out and watching over there, which is fabulous. Gary Peters, Derek Cheney, Ashley 389100. What else is there? Sadicus, what? Blitzblots.
Where are you seeing these people?
We're on YouTube, in our YouTube live.
Oh.
People are commenting live. In Your Face is over there.
In Your Face?
Someone calls himself...
No, In Your Face.
In Your Face.
Karen.
No.
Right. It's good. There's a whole group. Felix Osegbonano. Yeah. Eric Knapp. Hey, everybody. And then Paul Disney jumped in over there. Watching multiple chat rooms. It's going to blow my head apart. So many chat rooms. Yeah, everybody, if you had the TWIS calendar, you would know that Blair's birthday is coming up on December 12th, and Justin's birthday is just the day before that.
That's right.
We did that on purpose just to get it all
make
out
it
of the way
easy.
at
It's
once.
just done. Hey, you guys, have some birthdays in December. There you go. Justin's
Yeah.
birthday. Done.
You're welcome.
And then after that, on Wednesday, it's Monkey Day.
These things happen.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What do we need to figure out? We don't have to worry about next week. Twissoween. Wednesday is Twissoween. Next Wednesday. Oh, Mole Day is this weekend. Awesome. Wombat Day and Mole Day. I like Avogadro's number of moles. Twissoween. So if you have costumey things, we will wear them next Wednesday-ish.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I still don't have a costume. I
Me
keep
neither. This
procrastinating.
weekend needs
Getting
to
do it.
Yeah. Let's see. November. I don't know my holiday plans. We've got the beginning of the month going to Baltimore. That's cool.
Okay, good start.
Yeah. Thanksgiving. I hopefully will not be traveling, but if I'm traveling, I might not be able to do the show on the 23rd.
Okay, whatever you need. I'd be willing to take it off. I think we went back and forth on it.
Yeah, we go back and forth on it. We could do it or not do it. I don't know if I'm going to be driving. If I'm driving, then it'll be...
I mean, it's always a pretty stressful episode to do.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to do it. Like, I have very mixed feelings about it. Like, definitely I take Thanksgiving very seriously, and I will be cooking all the way before and all the way after.
Yeah.
But I also hate missing TWIS, so...
Exactly.
Plus, I won't be there the week after that.
And then you won't be there the week after?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm maybe in the happiest place on Earth.
I don't even know where to go with that.
Wait. You're sleeping on my couch? What's happening?
No.
I was like snuggled on my bed with
You know what the happiest place on Earth is.
I believe it's my couch, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Okay, and then Blair's in the happiest place on Earth, and then birthdays, and then Monkey Day, and then we have a week, and then everything's cool for the holidays because the holidays are on the weekends. So we don't have to skip any shows drop any shows at the holidays this year.
Hoorah.
Yeah. So everything for shows for the end of the year, we should be right on track. And if we do not cancel the November Thanksgiving show, the last show of the year will be episode 599.
Which means the first show of 2017 will be show 600.
600. That's right. That's right. Another 100 down, folks. Can't believe we're almost there. It feels like yesterday we did our 500 episode.
I know.
Yeah. Let's see. So, yeah. Year in review will be the last week of December. So
Did we put that on the calendar?
It is. It says TWIS year in review.
I don't have to overthink this. It's right there.
It's right there. So easy. And then, yeah, and it should say on the next year's calendar on the first week of January, TWIS prediction show. Right? We'll say that. We'll get to that point. We're getting there in the calendar making. Got it. Tijuana, identity for, I don't know what your happy place. I don't know about your happy place.
Yeah, that's weird.
Identity 4 is going to dress up as a text in a chat room for Twissoween. That sounds like a good costume. Don't know how I'll be able to identify you. Chatcepticon.
It's not Disney World, Whiskey Renegade. Where have you been? It's Disneyland.
Disneyland. That's right.
Yes. For the big 3-0, I am going to Disneyland with my mom.
You have a man now.
My mom.
Oh, your mom.
Yeah. But yes, I also do have a man now. I am in possession. My mother was what I was saying.
You're in possession of a man? What? Bring him out. Come on.
Let him out.
I made him out of a Ken doll, and then there was like a lot of sparks, and then some smoke. Then out he came.
Out he came. There he was. Ta-da! Blair's man.
Oh boy.
There he is, Blair's man. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, yes, I'm going to Disneyland with my mom.
Funny. Mm-hmm.
For my birthday.
Very nice.
Yes, since I am entering my 3rd decade on this planet.
Oh yeah, we need to put the eclipse date on there for 2017 also. That's in August, huh? Important eclipses and stuff.
Yeah, I got in free once.
To Disneyland?
Actually, I've gotten into Disneyland free a number of times.
Oh,
but I got in on TWIS credentials once. It was awesome.
No.
Yeah.
Way. Yeah. In fact, I got 4 comped tickets.
Oh,
no way.
Way.
You're gonna have to tell me more about that.
Well, I don't know that it works anymore. So I tried the last time I was going to go through the same source, and apparently it's not as easy as it once was.
Yeah.
It used to be you'd contact the guy in the media department.
Mm-hmm.
You find out when you were going. You would set aside tickets at the will call. It was pretty easy. You just made a phone call. But apparently now everybody's in the media. And so they're like, no, we need some people who aren't. There's a vetting process now. So I didn't get them the last 2 times I tried. So it used to be real easy. And then before that, I used to have friends that worked for Disney animation that would get me in on like employee days where there were no lines and you could just go to. But there's always like a couple major rides that would be like shut down for renovation or whatever. But most of the park was open and no lines for anything. It was totally bizarre. Actually, the first time I went, when there were crowds, I was like, oh, wow, okay, this is crazy.
So there's, the eclipse in August 2017 that I'd like to get people together for in Oregon. I should start planning that.
So there is a plan.
There's like a crazy music festival that's happening. And all my friends are going to
There's apparently already at least one RV, including a public affairs KDVS cat.
I know.
And a longtime friend of the show, been a guest host on the show.
Pamela.
Yeah.
They're going to be out there.
They're going to be out there watching the sun not rise, or whatever happens, whatever you want. Eclipse. I guess that's the thing.
I need to organize. I gotta balance between. There's this Oregon eclipse. There's a total solar eclipse gathering from the 17th to the 23rd. What day is the eclipse on now? Where's that? Like,
and who will still be conscious enough to see it after that long of an event?
Yeah. Let's see. Summer, the 21st. Right in the middle of the festival. Of course it is. That's a really long event. I don't know if I could go and like be surrounded by that many hippies for that long. I might actually hurt somebody.
My whole goal in life is to create a space where I'm only surrounded by hippies.
Why? They smell.
What do you talk about? They smell.
They do. Hippies smell. Or
so do like
maybe it's
everybody.
not hippies. Maybe it's not hippies. I have issues with the we're gonna have this eclipse party and the magical spiritual feeling, and it's gonna be be all these new agey people talking about, don't you feel like this is just a moment, it's amazing.
Yeah, fuck that. Those aren't the people I'm talking about. That's like
violent.
Okay, you got it. It's
might
like
actually get violent. It's like the electronic.
Yeah, no, that would totally give me aneurysms.
All of that.
You're knocking crystals out of people's hands left and right. But that's not what I consider like hippies.
Yeah.
To me, hippies are like, we're gonna get together and like.
Can we make some food?
Figure out how to. Yeah, we're gonna make some good food and have some music, and it's gonna be nice. Might be able to collect rainwater to irrigate for next season's crop. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
I'm cool with that. With down to earth practical things.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
That's what I'm talking about. Down to earth people.
Yeah.
Not. Yeah.
Because I really feel like something like the eclipse is going to be just such a wonderful moment to bring people together. I mean, you get people together in a moment like that and just something happens, and it's just like the power of the universe. We are the center of the universe. You are the center of the universe. I am the center of the universe. We are the center of the universe, and if we're together, it would be such a powerful force to make the universe really move around us.
Yeah, and actually I kind of agree with everything you just said there, though. I mean, that's what happens when people get together. They become the center of their universe. Right? Like, that's fine.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
But so you see, the Earth is flat. So so you can't be in the center because it's a flat disk. So when you're on an airplane and it feels like you're going around the planet, you're just going in a circle, you see. It's all
Yeah.
you could just
They
go across.
avoid flying close enough to the edges for you to see it because they're keeping it a secret.
Exactly. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's a different kind of. Now that person is neither a hippie nor even a New Ager. That is called a fundamental Christian conspiracy theorist.
It's a conspiracy theorist. I feel like it's not necessarily.
I think it's very much imbued within religion.
Sometimes,
I think,
not entirely.
maybe not, but I'd say then the origin of it came from religion within the family at some point. It's one of those concepts that is pretty easy to let go of if you don't think that it somehow threatens the theology that you were taught.
But how does a flat Earth affect theology?
Because it was taught through theology. And even if it's not at the core center of a theology, whenever you give up any bits of your theology, it threatens the rest of them. It's sort of like domino effect or house of cards sort of thing. So people make really big arguments about very strange things. This is why people fight the idea that the Earth is, more than 6,000 years old, or that dinosaurs walked with man. I mean, it's how hard is that to let go of and still keep the rest of the things that you're believing in intact? Well, it's because you've built this house of ideas. And as soon as you pull bricks out, closer to the foundation especially, the more you're afraid that the rest of it is being attacked at the same time. So I understand.
It's hard because, okay, so the Bible doesn't talk about the Earth being flat.
Mm-mm.
So it's hard to say that has a basis in Christianity. So it's more that it lends itself to fanatical people, and not that it is tied to the specific religion, and that fanatical people also get tied to some religions. And so it is an association, but not an actual attachment. You know what I mean? There's a difference.
All right. So who believes that the Earth is flat?
There are people who are not Christians who believe the Earth is flat. Absolutely. If you look for these flat earther groups on social media or on the internet, they cross all sorts of weird lines. They're very odd intersections. Just like people who think the moon landing was fake. They're not all one demographic. Some of them are completely unreligious. But somehow, it's like anti-vaxxers. Some anti-vaxxers, otherwise, totally on board with science, totally on board with the fact that the Bible does not need to be completely accurate. Some of them are actually agnostic or atheists, but they don't understand why vaccines are important. It's a weird thing. The conspiracy theory thing, I think you'll be hard pressed to find one specific demographic that works across the board.
Yeah, and actually, as I'm looking through it, I'm not. Let's see. During the early church period, the spherical view continued to be widely held. Some notable exceptions. Yeah, not necessarily. Not necessarily imbued within Christianity.
Yeah. Bingo.
Yup.
I just emailed Patrick asking him to help me.
Help me, please. Yeah.
We should give him some sort of credit on the back page. I realized we didn't do that last year.
We didn't do. Did we do any credit? We just talked about it was in.
Yeah, we just had some references for ourselves on social media, but
yeah,
it might be good just somewhere like.
Oh yeah, put a link to his art
Yeah.
Like, does he have a website for his art?
I don't know. I'll ask him.
Yeah.
But
Sure thing.
he's definitely an integral part of the process.
Mm-hmm. The Renaissance of Idiocy. Yes.
Look at my Planet Express ship.
Except instead of wearing cool Renaissance clothes, people are wearing like
Yoga pants?
jerseys and yoga pants.
Mm-hmm.
Can't stay. I'm gonna drink my shot of wheatgrass, and then I'm gonna get my triple latte mochaccino decaf, and I'm going to go on a jog stroll with my little baby here, and then I'm going to take a 2-hour mommy and me yoga class, and then we're going to go again and get some lunch at the new salad place. That's going to be fantastic.
Meow.
And then after lunch, I'm going to meet with the other moms because, you know what, moms always have to stick together. And we're going to get together at that new bistro down the hill. And, you know, it'll be during nap time. So it's perfect. So I can have a little glass of wine and I can hang out with the moms and we can chat all about not liking being moms.
This sounds like it's coming from a place of familiarity, Kiki.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are there hippie moms in Portland?
Oh yeah, totally.
Are there any that aren't?
Really?
Are there any that aren't?
Goats, my goats.
There's goats?
I'm sure there are goats in Portland somewhere. There's all sorts. There's you want it, you're gonna find it in Portland. Portland's got everything. It's got everything.
You want to walk into a music store? Period. At this point, yeah, Portland. But on top of that,
there
not
are
only
record
will you
stores
find
in Portland. It's awesome.
not only will you find records, but
Yeah.
you're likely to encounter cassettes.
Yep.
I love cassettes.
I like cassettes. I have an old cassette player. That's all I have. I lost my cassette deck. I don't know where it went. Through the history of my life of moves and going places, things have disappeared from my life.
I have a Walkman.
Just walked out. Yeah, I have a Walkman. Yeah. My
You
bread
say
deck
Walkman.
disappeared.
I have a Walkman.
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 I have a Walkman.
I also have a Discman.
I have one of those too. Yeah. That hasn't disappeared. Neither has the Walkman, but the dual cassette deck, that disappeared. And so did my bread maker. No idea. No recollection.
Your bread maker?
I'm sure I gave these things to people at some point in time. I said, you need this. I don't. You need this. But I have no recollection whatsoever. Gone, it is. Okay, calendar we're working on. We've got to get that going. I have you gave me art. I'll put a thing.
You have a
on the
nautiloid.
page.
You're ready.
Yeah, I'll put a thing on the page.
Hooray. I'm going to send that art out to those two people also. I haven't done it yet.
Okay, awesome. You have you have what you need for them?
Yes, I just have to find it now in my inbox.
Okay.
Like, all right. There we go. Who is it? Where is it?
Add a widget.
It's on the next page.
Text.
Let's see here. Ooh. The slug has been claimed.
Ooh, the slug, the flying forest slug.
And Oh, I had a request for a penguin, but I didn't make a penguin. So, a surprise.
Couldn't that be the cover?
No.
Hmm.
The cover's planned.
Okay.
I'm doing another...
Is it a penguin?
No.
Oh, just checking. Could you fit a penguin into it?
No. It's actually, if you want to know...
I don't. No, I'm kidding. I do. Of course I do.
No, you
No, I want to know. I was just kidding. That was me joking. I want to know.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. It's gonna be the same animal from the cover last year, but done in this new style. So it's gonna be a horned frog again. Horned frog, hypnotoad, whatever you want to call it. It's gonna be a horned frog.
Very nice.
Horny frog.
No, horned frog.
Sorry.
Could be a horny horned frog. You never know. It's hard to tell.
Hard to tell.
The horned frog is what my screensaver is when I turn off my camera. Not a horned toad. What the? Google Images. Honestly.
You know what you want. Google Images has no idea. Tell
Okay.
Google Images what you want.
No.
Okay, so preferences.
Here, look at all these horned frogs.
PayPal.
Like this one, this is the kind that is my screensaver.
Did we decide 20 is fine, still fine for just
For the calendar?
Yeah, I'll do $20 for the calendar
Plus shipping.
and plus shipping.
Yep.
Yeah. Same as last year.
But the shipping will be more representative of your cost this year, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look at all these adorable horned frogs. Look at this one. Look at this one.
Oh no.
Look at this one. Look at that one. Oh, I remember what I searched. Horned frog.
I think you might have a bad mic there, Blair.
What?
I think you might have a bad mic there.
A bad mic? Why?
Yeah, it's picking up breathing or something. It's it's crackling. I mean, occasionally it sounds like you're sniffling, but I know you couldn't be. So
What?
yeah, it's a debate joke. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Got it. How dare you compare me to Donald Trump?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! He's trying to eat a human.
Yeah, did you see that?
I can't get it. I can fit it in there. I'm gonna make room.
Look at this. Look at it.
I really didn't think it was that small. Like,
That's a baby. Look, they get bigger.
oh, okay. Well,
This is a bullfrog. That's not a horned frog. Eating a lizard. This is an albino. Oh, I love them so much. They're one of my favorite things in the entire world. Look at him. Blup. Blup.
wait. Go up for a minute.
Blup.
Go up, a little bit. Right there. Dead center, but a little bit up.
That?
No. I'm pointing. Yeah. Nope. You just passed it.
That.
Yeah. Let me see that guy. What is that?
He's a horned frog of some sort.
Whoa. He is amazing. That is an amazing. It's like, I am the emperor of a vast region of space, but accidentally landed here on Earth.
Says Bell's horned frog. Difficult to say. Species ID of frogs on the internet is kind of dubious.
You don't just look on the internet and go, "Hey, I know what frog that is." I
Not
got
quite.
that.
Not
PDF.
quite.
Will it open a PDF?
Whiskey Renegade is saying is I'm surprised it hasn't got political yet. Right after the debate. That's because there are no politics or policy in the debates. There was nothing there. You can't like talk about people making personal
Look
attacks.
at this animal. Look at him.
Rigel. Thank you, Ben Rothig. Thank you, Yanisku. Yes, Rigel from Farscape. That's what that frog looked like. I bet that frog farts helium. Just saying.
Look at this one. Whee!
Take me to your lizard.
Ooh. So you look at the size on this one, Justin.
He's a little, he's got a little girth. Very round.
Yeah, very round. They're just mouth. That's all they are. That's why they're called the Pac-Man frog. Look at this one. He's on a bun.
Oh no.
I hope he's not actually going to get eaten. Here, this is what their full-grown size looks like, Justin.
That's what I was looking for. Yeah.
Do you have JPEGs? No.
JPEGs? I could convert it to a JPEG.
Hey, there's my frog again. Go up.
Yeah.
Nope, up there in the water. Yeah.
There he is.
It just doesn't really say which.
No.
It calls it frog.
Yeah, Kiki, I can hear. I got it.
Not making me happy.
2017 hashtag Blair's Animal Corner calendar.
I hope Cephalopod Week is every year.
Oh, of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hi, I'm
Let
from
me
Planet
change.
Toadstool. Take me to your lizard. I love that. That's funny.
But why would you get taken to a lizard? He's an amphibian.
Blitzblots. Sorry. Yeah, all scrotum frogs are dead. But yeah, it's sad to hear that when you just heard they existed, right? No, not all scrotum frogs are dead. They are just endangered now because Lake Titicaca is being polluted.
Kiki.
And additionally, because there are fish in the lake that have been brought in for like fishing and tourists and stuff, and those fish are eating the frogs. Yes.
Kiki.
Yes.
You said you wanted a JPEG.
A JPEG would be great.
Great.
Yeah. JPEG would be wonderful.
Okay. Let's see about this.
Check out the Yanescu link in the chat room. That's why I was being so fascinated with the frog. We kept reminding, maybe he's a little bit. He kept reminding me of this guy
From
somehow.
Farscape.
Yeah.
Should be your Halloween
guy.
costume.
Yeah, Justin.
I was gonna be a pirate, but then I don't like my pirate pants didn't show up. I don't know what happened to them. My pirate shirt showed up too small, and now I'm like, screw it.
Nothing's quite right.
Just gonna not have a costume
You
again.
don't just have pirate gear on hand. Whoa, chat room, you're freaking out,
I have pirate gear on hand.
right?
Wait, you guys just keep pirate gear lying around? This is
Yeah, of course.
totally
Doy.
prepared.
Are we screen switching too much? No, we're just talking a lot. We're talking over each other. Sorry, Justin B. Yes. Yes. So this scrotum frog is not known, really. It's the common name is the scrotum frog. Its name is Telmatobius coleus, the Titicaca water frog. One of the largest aquatic frogs in the world. It has very baggy skin, which is why it is called the scrotum frog.
Gross.
Yep. According to PhD student and National Geographic explorer Jonathan Colby, He says their wrinkly skin is an adaptation to help them absorb more oxygen from the water, possibly because they live at such high altitudes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I just sent you the PDF.
Puduf. Chickapig. Chipeg.
Oh, the JPEG. Yeah,
Chipeg.
I sent you the JPEG.
My eyes are tired. My eyes are tired now. What just happened? Ah, nautiloid. There we go. There we go. Awesome. Where's the downloading? There we go. We download and then I upload.
Hoorah.
Hoorah! Thank you. That is helpful.
Thank you.
Oh. You can make it
Okay, I'll stop
smaller.
looking at horned frogs. I could do that all night.
Little horny frogs.
So weird.
No, that's not what I want to do. I'm not hitting the buttons right, obviously. I need to stop doing things. I'm going to break my website.
What do you mean? Stop doing things.
I'm going to end up breaking the website if I keep clicking on buttons.
Buttons.
Buttons. Oh, there we go. That's what I want. No, not header image. Menus. I'll deal with that later. Widgets. Yeah. Primary sidebar. Widget. Add a widget. Text. Order now. Then I get the button. Create the button. Uh-oh. Select code. Copy. Let's see if this works. Ta-da! Save and publish. Ta-da! Did it work? Oh yeah, I need to go over here and check and see if it worked. Nope, that did not work. I broke it. Oh, it's too far down. That's the problem. I did it. I did something. I'm so proud of myself.
Ooh, where is it?
And I'll put it right on top there. And maybe we'll put it right on top. There, save and publish. There we go.
Ooh, pre-order now.
I'm just using the old picture.
Nice.
Here.
You can change it later, right?
Pre-order for 2017 now. Yes, I can change the image later, but I just wanted to put something on. Look, I have something on the website.
Yes.
Ta-da! Did it. I'm so proud of myself. Hope I didn't mess everything up. Okay.
This is very exciting.
Ta-da!
Okay,
Calendar
so let's
pre-order
see.
up there. I did it, you guys. I did it. Website bloopty-blops.
Bloopty-blops.
Yeah, website bloopty-blops. Putting the things in the places. Discount for 2,000 calendars. I guess if we ordered 2,000, we'd have more of a discount from the printer.
That is true.
Or are you talking about calendars from the year 2000?
Because those don't exist.
They don't exist, so you can have them for free. Just imagine it. Imagine it in your brain. That'd be nice. We don't have any 2016 calendars left. There are 2.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, we sold them all.
Really?
We were left with, there were 2, and one of them was like mine. Well, I've got mine down here. Yeah, no, there were 2 left, and those are just going to be like things that go in the TWIS museum someday. Yeah.
So I wonder if I don't need to send all of these out, the originals, if we, instead of just outright selling them, if we should auction them.
Auction them? Yeah. I guess that's an idea. I don't know.
If we did like a TWISmageddon style show again, that could be one of the things that we do.
It's a good idea. Yeah. I like it. TWISmageddon. We'll have to find out if there's any like end of the world kind of event coming that we could Mageddon around.
Mm-hmm. Or we could do 600 hours for the episode of 600.
Nope.
How about 600 minutes?
How long is 600 minutes?
10
That's
hours?
10 hours. That's 10 hours.
10 hours. I can do that.
We could do that.
I can do 10 hours.
600 minutes for TWIS 600?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I like it.
Totally doable.
Yeah. Or 600 seconds is an hour.
But we never could make a show that short.
No.
No.
That's the problem.
Only an hour? No.
Yeah.
No.
I could start some sort of cult activity that predicts the end of the world on a specific day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is very unsure about which year it'll happen. So that every year it's possibly the end of the world. Maybe not. We don't have the year down.
Maybe it's next year.
Don't have the year exactly right, but we know it will happen on this day of the Roman and then later European and many times changed calendar that we all now agree upon. It will happen on this specific day. Year unknown.
Solstices.
Hot Rod wants 2017 calendars.
2017. That's too many. If he wants to pay for them all, he can have.
Oh, Identity 4, you're right. It's 10 minutes, not an hour. 600 seconds. Dadoy!
I wasn't paying any attention.
I can't.
I'm deleting the row that says there's a total solar eclipse on March 9th because I think that was this year, 2016. Deleted. Boom, gone, done. I just edited our calendar.
Hot Rod, according to who does the world end on June 22nd at 10:46 a.m.?
Year unknown.
Okay, next square root day is not until 2025. Well, it depends how far out you go for square root, right? Is it 2025?
Oh, Hot Rod decides that. Let's see.
Yeah. The next square root day will be May 5th, 2025. Yep, that's the way it works. All right, so we will delete square root day. Should we just delete it from the calendar? Just delete it from the list or leave it there?
Delete it.
Delete it. Row, deleted.
You're dead to us. Square root day.
Yeah, but if there are things, Juno at Jupiter, we can get rid of that one because that was this year.
Mm-hmm.
If there are things that happened this year that we didn't have on the calendar, we could put on. I like adding things. Special twist.
Do we know if
days.
we're doing TWIS in New York and we're going to need to put that on the calendar?
I haven't heard from them. I should email him because I haven't heard from him at all, which potentially means he's not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is a bummer.
That would be a bummer of bummers.
No. I could enjoy going back to New York City.
I wanted to make it a thing.
I know. I like having an annual visit to New York.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
See, I thought that our visit to Maryland was
The same thing?
replacing that visit.
Oh, I didn't. I
don't-
didn't think that.
I thought it was in addition to.
Yeah.
In addition to.
Yeah.
Because we like to do cool things.
Yeah.
Science. Holidays. There are some good lists, though. Science holidays. Oh, my back hurts. Wah.
That means it's time to go.
Yeah. Wah. All right. November 7th day.
November 7th.
Oh, Hot Rod. Seriously? You're predicting the end of the world? All right. All right there. That's good to see. I like it. It's good. You're putting yourself out there, predicting.
There's an anonymous panda in our science holidays sheet.
What do you mean an anonymous panda?
So when you scroll over the people
Oh.
editing the sheet, there's an
Right.
anonymous platypus. I'm okay with the anonymous platypus.
Anonymous
rabbit. I'm wary of you, but I'll accept your presence. Anonymous rhino. A-okay by my book. Anonymous panda. What are you doing?
Anonymous panda.
You get out of my calendar.
Get out of my calendar. No, we like the panda. Wasn't there something new about pandas or something? That we love them. We all love them.
You, baby.
Love a panda.
You go love a panda.
You go love a panda. Just take the panda. You love the panda. Eric and AK, have a great night. Wait, do I have a newsletter? Does who have a newsletter? Us? We do not have a newsletter. Should we have a newsletter?
That sounds like intern work.
I know. Should we have a newsletter? I don't even have a mailing list. I've been the worst business person in the history of the universe. Everybody knows if you're going to do anything, collect emails. Send a newsletter. Always have a newsletter.
We have Patreon people.
It'll be a value add. I am not organized enough. Okay. Shift my thinking around. I'm going to be a good business person. But I do not have a newsletter.
I could write, Justin could we could put the disclaimers from the previous month in our monthly newsletter.
A monthly newsletter. Here are our disclaimers.
And I could write a little editorial about some dumb animal stuff.
Uh-huh.
I could do that, absolutely. That would take 5 minutes. And maybe put a couple pictures in.
Right.
That would be super easy.
Yeah. Newsletter.
And we could each pick our favorite stories that we reported on that month.
Yeah.
And link them in there. Done.
Say, hey, what's happening in the next month?
No, Ben. Shh. Ben, shh.
Shout.
I will volunteer to write a thing and send Kiki some pictures. And then the intern, who we have not yet hired, will put it all in MailChimp.
An intern will do this with MailChimp. Exactly. Newsletter Blair.
No. Fine. Fine. Maybe I will. Maybe I will do it.
Yes. The exactly.
Oh.
I thought we did it. There was a story about it. Pandas are not extinct. Not yet. Right, Nate?
No, pandas are not endangered, was what it was.
They're not endangered.
Yeah. Extinct would mean they're gone.
Which would make Blair very happy.
Come on now, that's not true. Don't misrepresent me. Maybe my first blog entry for the newsletter needs to be about my true opinion on pandas.
Right? Explain to the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Every episode, we could talk about your relationships with different animals. Pandas, squirrels.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's okay, Nate. Easy mistake.
It's all right. It's all right. All right.
Ben, no.
The old intern has to do the work.
So that's Justin, right? Justin.
Justin was
I wasn't
never
paying
in
attention. I was looking at
Justin
something
was
else. What happened?
never in
What were we talking about?
See, nose goes. Kiki.
What?
Kiki nose goes.
Nose goes.
Oh, Justin has to write the newsletter.
Justin, you're writing the newsletter.
What's a newsletter? I've forgotten how to read or write, by the way. Didn't I mention it? I just forgot. I didn't use the skill for a long time, and now I don't know how to do it.
We're going to make a monthly newsletter that goes out via email to our listeners.
Why are we creating something that they're immediately going to not open?
I know,
Who
right?
opens newsletters? Really?
Apparently,
That's not a
it's
thing that people do.
added value.
Thing, right? A list.
Is it?
Well, shouldn't we just write more content for the website instead?
Why don't we just do more
What's that?
show content?
Like I could do exactly what I was just saying, where I just write a little mini essay about something and
For
just
the
send it to
website.
you, and you just
Mhm.
post it on that little sidebar.
Mhm.
Do you want me to do that? Because I can. I probably
Yeah.
have some. Actually, I have some stuff that I wrote and sent out to listeners in response to questions that I could just like edit slightly and send to you.
All right.
I can do that.
More website content is good.
Also, can I show you guys?
Fing powder. What's
Oh my
fing
gosh.
powder identity for?
I did something really fun today.
What'd you do today?
Let's see. Is it in downloads?
I'm playing with the soft tags.
It
on
is
my
in downloads.
tag.
So let's see if I can screen share.
Soft tags. Is this one of those, what is it, ASMR things? Liking soft tags. I don't like the noises.
Look what I did today.
Soft tags. Oh, look at you. Look at
You're
that.
educating
That's a picture
It's-
people
of Blair.
in uniform.
It's the first ever climate change zoomobile.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you seem to be
That's cool.
in an ethnically non-diverse part of our country.
It's called San Francisco. Deal with it.
Okay. I mean,
It's called a San Francisco Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Here, check this one out. We're talking about solutions.
Solutions.
Yeah. And here I am. Hold on.
It is now identity for Powderfinger.
Holding a hedgehog.
Oh, is that a real hedgehog?
Yeah.
What does
It's a
that have to
stu-
do
no,
with
it's a
climate
stuffed-
change?
She showed up with her stuffed animal collection.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the zoomobile brings live animals to
this
classrooms.
I know, but what does it have to do with climate change? You said this was a climate change
Yes.
zoomobile.
So I brought 5 different animals with 5 different ways that climate change affects their life history. So for hedgehogs, they have habits that are directly related to the seasons. And one thing that they do that's really special is they estivate. So they hibernate, but from heat instead of from cold. So they do that when it's hot and dry in the African savanna. And then when they wake up when it starts to get to be the rainy season, and then they start hedgehog families.
Oh.
And so if the dry and warm season starts to extend, that will throw their seasons out of whack. They will not wake up at the right time to start a family. They also, and I didn't say this to the children, of course, might estivate too long and starve and die. So that was the hedgehog. I also brought a tortoise because turtles and tortoises have temperature-dependent sex determination. So if it gets too hot, there will be only girl turtles. That's not good. I brought a chinchilla because they live on mountains. So whereas other animals will flee north in the northern hemisphere or south in the southern hemisphere towards the poles to chase their desired habitable temperature, in mountains they flee up the mountain. But at a certain point, there's no more mountain to go up. So mountain animals are more susceptible to that change. Then I brought a snake to talk about just the difference between endothermic and ectothermic, so warm-blooded, cold-blooded, and how if they're used to a wide range of temperatures, but if it gets too hot, they could get sick because they can't regulate their body temperature, and so they will instead follow their desired temperature. And we want snakes to stay in our space because they rid us of pests, because they eat mice. And then I brought a tiger salamander to talk about vernal pools, and those are seasonally wet pools that will completely dry up, and the salamanders will kind of dig down into the mud and wait until it gets wet again. And obviously drought, especially in California where tiger salamanders live, will throw off these seasonal pools, and then they won't be able to come out and they might dry up.
Oh, the salamanders.
So that is what I brought. And then after all that depressing facts, we talked a bunch about solutions. So hopefully the children left empowered.
That's cool. Yeah. Talking about solutions is always important.
Yes. In education, you never bring up a problem without a solution.
Or you bring up a problem and you talk about other problems that have had solutions, and you say, this is a problem. What solutions do you think we might come up with? And you start inspiring people to come up with solutions.
So, yeah. And if you if you have something in mind, sometimes you can inspire children with the right scaffolding to come up with the solution that you want, which is especially helpful.
You can inspire children with scaffolding?
Yes.
Okay.
Scaffolding is the term used when you give them the tools. It's almost like the foundation of a building to then build a building of ideas.
Is that the definition of it? The definition of it is you got a foundation and then you
build a building of ideas.
Build a building of ideas on top of it. Okay.
Before we go, I just want everyone to know that as far as I'm aware, the news of Jennifer Lopez producing a futuristic bioterror drama for NBC called CRISPR is true, correct? This is going to be so terrible.
That is the stupidest thing ever.
I can't even. This is like almost
What a
as bad
freaking
as
nightmare.
This is almost as bad as the electronic music festival New Age hippie people. CRISPR, aka Clustered Regularly Interspersed Short Palindromic Repeats, is a procedural thriller set 5 minutes into the future that explores the next generation of terror, DNA hacking. If the project moves forward, each episode will explore a bioattack and crime, from a genetic assassination attempt on the president to the framing of an unborn child for murder. The show's central character is a scientist with the CDC who is paired with an FBI agent. In the same vein of Castle, romance will blossom between the scientist and the FBI agent as they team to bring down a diabolical genius with a twisted god complex, her former boss. The drama will see mentor and protege battle for control over the human genome in a game of cat and mouse in which the future of our species may rest and all disease could one day be eradicated.
Pass. Pass.
Oh, CRISPR is in so much trouble. This is going to be such a bad. Maybe it's a teaching moment.
Maybe it's a TV show, right? Maybe it'll get canceled super fast.
Yeah, I hope so. That would be nice.
Might not even make it to air.
That would be even better. Mm-hmm. That would be even better. Anyway, one can dare to dream, can't we? We can dare to dream. I know, it sounds terrible, doesn't it, Identity 4? It sounds terrible.
Pass. Okay.
I love the chat room. The comments in the chat room are just like, what? No. CRISPR.
TV is dead, Nate.
Yeah. TV is totally dead already. You're right. Okay, I'm tired. My eyes are tired. My eyes are tired, and I think my jaw is tired from the talking.
How many orders for calendars have we gotten?
I don't know. I logged out of PayPal. I don't know.
I just want to know if we got one while we were standing here.
While we were standing here, let me check.
You should put a counter on the website.
Does it go into my... Oh, a counter might be nice.
Yeah.
No, nobody bought a calendar.
Oh, darn it.
Sorry.
Who's going to be the first one?
But we'll put an announcement up for the pre-orders and then for the orders and stuff.
Yeah, and I sent stuff to Patrick, so we'll see. Hopefully I'll have everything ready. But the guy from the place that we order them from did email me today to check in. I was like, I'm almost done. He goes, hi, Blair. I wanted to send a quick email to see how your project was coming along.
Yeah.
He's like,
nice
buy 100 calendars, please.
Yeah.
If you have any questions as you continue with your project, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always happy to help. Looking forward to hopefully reconnecting with you soon. Okay, I get it.
He wants to make a sale. He wants to make a sale.
I'm hurrying. You've been talking to me since March. I understand.
I don't have a pen. What happened to all my pens? My
yes,
pen.
These calendars will be 8.5 by 11 instead of, what were they?
12 by 12.
12 by 12.
Which was a nice size, but it was difficult for shipping.
Yes. So I think 8.5 by 11 will be much easier to ship.
It will be. They're more standard sized envelopes and stuff, but I already have all the 12 by 12 envelopes, so it doesn't much matter at this point.
Okay.
But,
well, we could still do it that way. Just all my
in terms of I think we can buy. I can get into the what I was saying before is if people order more than one envelope or more than one calendar, then I can get the flat rate envelopes. And those cost less. So it'll be like if 2, 3, 4, 5 calendars, however many fit into a flat rate envelope, the shipping will be cheaper.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm trying to see. Do I have any 8.5 by 11 pages?
And I have to read this card. I bought this card and I just love it. Run like a pack of wolverines is chasing you.
Oop.
Run, because the disco police are trying to get you for dancing the hustle too many times when you were a kid instead of studying your Latin. Run, because they're going to put slugs all over your face when they catch you. Run, because a miscreant with a mohawk from the Symbionese Liberation Army is going to pinch you with tweezers in the soft, fleshy parts under your armpits if you don't run faster. Run! Faster! Now I just have to figure out who I want to give this to.
Oh my god.
Love it.
That's scary.
Run!
Okay.
Faster!
So it's going to look like this.
Ed from Connecticut just pre-ordered a calendar. Thank you, Ed. Oh, that's pretty.
So it'll be black again around the borders. And this is going to be blown up a little bit.
That's 8.5 by 11. Yeah, that'll be wonderful.
Or we can also we could not even have a black border and just go edge to edge with it potentially.
No, I like the border, and I like I said, I like having the TWIS and Blair's Animal Corner identifiers. On the pages. I think it's a good idea.
That's a good point.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll do that.
We should have calendars, you guys.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, one calendar. Thank you, Ed. All right. I'm going to say it now. Good night, Kiki.
Good night, Kiki.
Thanks, everybody, for watching tonight. I'm super tired now, and my eyes hurt, like I said. It's time for me to go to bed. I hope everyone has a wonderful night, a wonderful week, and don't forget about the awesome holidays that we have coming up this week, which are we had Ada Lovelace Day this week, 16th. Tomorrow is World Statistics Day. The 22nd is Wombat Day, and the 23rd is Mole Day.
There is a chance that it's actually today or the day after tomorrow.
True. You may already be in World Statistics Day, so don't be a statistic today, please.
Yeah.
Don't be a statistic.
Plus or minus a day. So
yeah. Plus or minus. It may have already happened. But
maybe now, it may be 2 days. But just, we're going to celebrate it in the mean of the possible days that
or somewhere in that normal curve. Yeah. Awesome. I got to go. Good night, you guys. Thanks so much for watching and hanging out with us and helping with calendar stuff. You guys are awesome. Bye, co-hosts.
Good night.
Good night.